Welcome everybody to our super duper edition of Restoration Roulette. So normally we put all the cars under £10,000 off eBay on this wheel, spin it, key throws a dart, whatever it lands on, we've got a month to do it in. This time we're going different.
Yeah, so we've got now a budget between 10 and 20,000 of Paul's money, and it's going to be a 2-month timeline.
That's right, so we're looking at spending under 20,000 on the car, but then we've got up to 20,000 to spend on getting it done, and we've got 2 months to do it in. So hopefully we'll get a better quality of car. Not that the other ones have been bad.
No, they've been brilliant.
Been all right, haven't they? But we get 2 months to do more stuff to it, which is good.
Yeah.
So I've been on eBay and had a look. Cars between 10 and 20,000, there's 895. And then funnily enough, the buy it now of that 895 is 38.
And there's 38 spaces on this wheel.
38 spaces on the wheel, how random. So buy it now between 10 and 20,000, 38 spaces will look like this. And there we go, 38 eBay numbers of cars between 10 and 20,000 for the buy it now. So Keith, have you got your dart ready?
Yes, got my dart and my specs.
Right. I'm going to spin this crazy today, so because there's only one, it's going to be even harder for our champion darts player to hit that exact number. So anywhere in the square gets the car. So ready? Oh, miss.
Oh, black again.
Look at that, just in. Can't get this thing off.
Who's just in?
Right. Let's type the eBay number in. I wonder what we'll get, mate.
Excited.
786. What's it going to be?
Not another camper van. A minivan.
Can you imagine? Oh, it's a mini camper van. All right, enter. Oh, got a dentist tomorrow. Right. Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Mark 1.
Yeah.
Escort.
No.
2-door. 1968.
Year I was born in my favourite car.
Really?
Yep.
Rebuilt. I'll see if I can get the pictures up on the screen rather than looking at my phone. Rebuilt 1720cc crossflow, Kent 244 cam, new Lotus twin cam pistons, ARP bolts, all new panels. It looks good in the photo, mate. Oh, and right, the next pictures. So it says, I bought this car and have stripped it. I've sourced all the new parts for it, but due to work and time, I'm not going to have time to complete it. Basically, a complete car with everything to rebuild it. Ideal winter project.
So that's our Christmas dinner got.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if winter's 9 months.
It is over here.
Please message me. 16,750.
Well, let's hope he's got all the parts and stuff for it, but she says.
That's a lot of money. How much we got left off that? 3,250. Yeah. Right. I'll give the bloke a message and then I suppose we'll go and get it. Sound? Okay, we got the car here and all the bits. It took 2 trips in the van, full up, and the recovery truck to get the car. So the story behind the car is the lad bought it complete. He then spent about £10,000 on bits to make it steer better, handle better, brake better, perform better. Then stripped the car down and realised it was just too much for him to do. He's like me, he's got loads of projects on and he's thinking, you know, it's like a 2-year project.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
We'll show you in a minute because it is that. But yeah, we've got all the parts laid out. Let me take you through it. And there we go, we've got it all laid out. Keith did a mint job of that. Look how nice it looks.
Yeah, it only took me in the morning, so it wasn't too bad.
All morning. Right, let's go over some of the bits he's bought. So we've got a new dash top and steering wheel. We've got a new fuel tank. We've got a genuine set of mini lights. We've got new Escort switches, new bigger front brakes. We've got a reconditioned Type 9 gearbox, Bilstein uprights. We've got a rear disc conversion, aluminium hubs. At the back there, we've got a diff that's got a limited slip bin put in it and rebuilt, so that's all good to go. Over at the back there, we've got a brand new roll cage, front and rear, bolt in. We've got new seats, aluminium radiator. We've got a strengthening kit. And then moving on to the body panels, we've got pretty much every panel we need. We've got a new roof skin because somebody cut a sunroof out of the roof, so that's no good. Front rear panels, bulkhead strengthening kit, we've got our twin Webbers down there, we've got a polybush kit as well. So over at the back here, we've got the original bonnet and boot, but he's also got, are they carbon fibre, aren't they, on the inside, but fibre, yeah, fiberglass on the outside, carbon fibre on the inside. And then we've got our original fiberglass wings. So overall, there's a lot of money on the floor here. There's some bits that I haven't gone through. I think there's a 4-link kit for the rear diff as well. Loads of other stuff. He spent some money. But let's take a look at the main body. And here it is. 2-door, Mark 1, 1968 Escort. Thanks. Your favourite car in the world. So I'll try and do my best I can with the camera, because my eyes here up close to it, this thing is absolutely rotten. Yes. It's quite bad. So I'll try and get the view better so you can see how bad it really is. So going front to back, let's start with this front panel. The valance is pretty much missing.
Yeah, it's not there. It's lightened for racing or for the airflow.
Like most race cars have a front panel like that. And it's just real weak. You can just, yeah, it's like paper mache. And then we go up here to the bulkhead. Now the lower and upper bulkhead in places is not even connected. So this side there's a massive hole and I can get my fingers through. And then coming around to this side, let me get my corrosion assessment tool, my screwdriver. Yeah, the inner wing isn't even connected to the bulkhead, upper or lower. I can get my fingers up through there, like, woo. Where the shock absorbers go, the strut top, that's pretty much like filler and fiberglass, which is not good. And all in here is like a putty, which is no good as well. So a lot of rust hiding behind that. This panel here where the wing sits has had some repairs in the past and it's not that good. It's like a patchwork quilt in it. Yeah. And where the doors mount both sides, we got big holes in here as well. So that's a lot of welding for a start. Right, let's go to the floor. So again, I'll see if I can get the camera in here. Let's pull it down. So we've got like holes through to the chassis rail. The inner wheel tub, it's not connected to the floor anymore, and this, where the rear seat used to sit, is just not even connected on that side. It's had a lot of work in the past. Somebody's loved it at one point, but it's just, yeah, over the years, it's not done well, unfortunately. But again, we've got our new floor panel. We'll just change the whole thing. So, right, round to the back. So what do you reckon of these bubble arches? They ain't cracked. Oh, looking at that, there is a crack there.
Yeah, but they've been fitted well. They've been pot riveted inside and then obviously filled over the top, but it's just starting to push away from the metal, so they need to come off. And
yeah, it's a bit bobbly. They're going to be
fiberglass, so yeah, so we'll put some metal ones on.
Yeah, just cut them straight off. A couple of bits more around the back here, where this rear quarter joins to the rear panel. There should be a seam down there, and there's not anymore, so that's quite a bit of filler. So that's the light part done. So we've got pretty much most of the front, all the floor. We've got a rear panel. We're going to take them bubble arches off and see what's behind there and probably get metal ones on. And then try and do this seat back so it's not as ugly. Let's spin it round and show you the best bits. Oof. Right, you grab it, I'll spin. Yeah, you can see more now what I mean about this front valance. And then coming across, this is the main problem. The chassis rails are completely, well, it's not even there.
No, they're tapered.
We're going to have to try and brace a shell, make a jig, and change those without warping the body. And then coming across, the sills, I've got holes in them both sides, so they're going to need doing. There's a crack there, let's have a look. Oh, that sound. That sound, mate.
Yeah, that's proper rot.
So where this tub, the original inner arch, meets the bubble arch, it's a strip of fiberglass. So you can actually see the fiberglass here. So that's no good for a start. Yeah. All that needs cutting off. All this fiberglass rear tub needs cutting out. This is a big job.
Yeah.
big job.
Like we said, if anyone can, we can, mate.
Yeah.
We'll give it our best go.
I think the first thing to do is send it up the road to the shop blasters, get them to blast it, let's get it back and see what we got to work with.
Yeah, or what we haven't got to work with.
Yeah, there's probably a lot hiding. I reckon most of it won't come back.
No, I think they'll have more up there than we will have back.
Yeah, right, let's get it to them.
Okay, mate.
So in the video, I forgot to say about the engine. So it was the first thing he removed and sent off before he stripped the rest of the car and realised it was knackered. We've had Lotus pistons, the crank reground, light and flywheel. It's had the valves done, ready for the new unleaded fuel, and it's been ported. So all good, ready to go. So what's today? Today is November the 1st. We've taken the car to the shop blasters. They reckon it's going to be about 2 weeks. So we've only got 2 months to do it in and £3,250 budget to spend on the car. 1,000 of that's going to be paint and materials. So what are your thoughts? 1, are we going to do it in 2 months?
It's going to be tight.
2, are we going to do it in under budget? And 3, how much of the car is going to come back from the shop blasters?
Not a lot, mate.
That's the thing. So yeah, we're up against it, but leave your comments and the likes and let us know what you think. The Escort is back from the blasters. So let's just take 10 seconds to have a look and appreciate how much of a hard life this old girl's had. It's had a lot of repairs, probably more than me and Keith were thinking. Every panel has had a patch. I was hoping to get away with not changing these inner wings, but it's just too far gone. So inner wings, floors, sills. The only good thing on it I can see is this rear quarter. The other one's had a bit of a repair, not a bad job, but yeah. I'm just about to go and order another £2,000 worth of panels, which takes the budget down. So the next thing to do is to make a jig. We've got our super sturdy table there. So let's get this on, make 1,000,000 braces so nothing moves, and let's get wowed in. And there you go, we've fitted the braces to the shell. It's all nice and level. We made the braces like at a mirror image. The only problem we saw was this strut top is about 2 mil higher than the other side, which ain't bad, seeing as it's like a patchwork quilt. All the way along the chassis rails, pretty much where anything bolts to it, we've braced up as well. So hopefully this body isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, also we've all done the bracing inside the shell as well, so everything should stay where it is. It shouldn't move or twist.
Stay nice and square. So the next thing is to cut a panel off. We're going to just do it one panel at a time. So we'll fit the new panel, mark where the next panel to it goes, then fit that panel, and then so on and so on. So hopefully it's all going to go back in the same position. We'll see. So without further ado, let's start
cutting.
Cutting our body apart, yes. Okay, the first section we're going to cut out is this door hinge panel here. And good news, I ordered the panels yesterday and they came next day. What more can you ask for? Classic Panel Company, thank you very much. Okay, so most of you guys out there know that originally these chassis were spot welded together, and we can see that here. But I just want to go through, for the people that are just doing this as a bit of a hobby, how we're going to get this panel off. So you can see the spot welds all the way down this side, but then unfortunately they've put a repair plate this side. That's going to have to be ground off. But this side, we use this, which is a spot weld drill bit. So instead of usually the big point being on a drill bit, it's dead flat. So when you drill this panel, it'll only go through the one we want to cut off. You can see it a bit better up here on the heater bowl where the spot welds are. So Keith is going to start drilling out all these spot welds, which is good fun, bit time consuming. But yeah, this side, he's got to use the grinder and just cut that panel off.
As Paul said earlier, with the spot weld drill being flat, it only drills through the first piece of the metal. So where you can see inside is the rust, is where the two panels have met. So now that the spot welds have been drilled out, basically all I have to do now is with a hammer and chisel is separate the two pieces of metal, and that's it.
So Keith's done a good job of cutting this panel out, but the problem we'll have is this is bare metal under here. Now we could epoxy it, we could paint it, but when this panel goes off, we've got to weld through there onto that. And if it's painted, the weld won't go through to it. So we've got this stuff, which is good. It's called Weld Through Primer. It's waterproof, it prevents corrosion, and we can weld through it. So what we'll do is give that a nice coat of this stuff, let it dry, we're ready to stick our panel on.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Yeah, stayed on last night. I've done the other side now. Just going over this because these are starting to rust a little bit already.
Yeah, it's a damp, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit damp in here last night. So extra little coat just over the welds just to protect it.
Okay, so plan of attack?
Yeah, I was thinking of this last night. So if we did the chassis rails first,
yep,
then we do the bulkhead. That's a lot of stuff kind of balancing.
Yeah, it's going to twist, I think.
Yeah. So we know that, like from there upwards, the chassis rail's all right. So I'm thinking, cut out the upper and lower bulkhead.
Yep.
Slot it in. We know these are good now, both sides.
Yep.
And the chassis rails are in the right place and they're pinned.
Okay, and then put the doors on, temporarily fix the bulkhead.
Yeah, so we'll put the doors on because in case that has moved slightly to make sure the back door gap is all right.
Yep.
So, yeah. Bulkhead next.
Let's get cutting.
So Keith starts out by drilling all those spot welds out of that heater bowl. Takes a while, but you have to drill them out nice to save the panel. Next up, he cuts out that upper bulkhead and then it's starting on the lower section. So because the lower sections have been repaired, there's no spot welds to drill out. So it's a case of just grinding them as close to the other panels as we can. So lower side of the bulkhead out first, then the center, then he moves round to the driver's side and cuts that inner bulkhead out there. Next up, we've got to just clean up all them surfaces because we want our new panel to fit down nice and sit pretty on those chassis rails. So that's it, end of day 2. We took our Escort shower, put it on the table, braced it all up, done these A-posts, and you've got that
Bulkhead out.
Yeah.
Have you seen that panel?
Oh yeah.
Nice bit of welding, mate.
Oh nice. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers thick. Brilliant. That actually weighs a fair bit, doesn't it? Yeah. That's crazy.
It's no wonder it just rusts because they haven't cut the old panels out. They've just welded on top.
Straight over the top. That's mad. So next, bulkhead in. That's going to be easy enough because we can use that as a guide.
Yep.
Comes down this pillar and it sits on top of them inner wings. So that's easy enough. Then it's just the next step. So what do you reckon? We can either just chop the front off and take the whole thing off and build it up?
Yeah, I personally think do it sectionally. So do this front end piece first, cut it off on the slam panel. Yeah. And then do this in a wing and then the chassis rail.
Ah, right, and leave that where it is.
Yeah, yeah, brace at the front again. Yeah. Put a new brace at the front so that doesn't move. and then cut it out and then just do this side.
Yeah, so this chassis rail and this inner wing, and then fix it to there, because then we know how far forwards that is.
Yeah.
Then do the other side, and fix it to the old panel, then do the front panel.
Yeah, put the bonnet on, wings on.
Oh yeah, and thing. What are your thoughts? How would you do it if you were doing this now?
My way.
Yeah, that's probably the best way, but yeah, there's no other. I mean, the best way would have a proper jig and all the clamps and all that lot. But,
yeah, but this is solid, mate. It's sound.
I mean, it's not connected and it's proper solid, so.
I'm hopefully going to be fitting the new upper and lower bulkhead, and then, fingers crossed, we'll get onto the inner wing and the chassis rail and hopefully get all the front end done. So, as you can see, I've wire wheeled the inside of the dash panel because obviously when the bulkhead's on, I won't be able to get in there. So, wire wheeled it and then just giving it a coat of primer just to protect it. Right, let's get this bulkhead on. Sweet.
Perfect. That is.
Yeah, what's coming my way now? That's the only problem. Right, that's it. So, as you can see, the panel is buckling a little bit. So what we've got to do is put a couple of self-tapper screws down this panel just to hold it in place. Let's get going. So here I'm going to mark the chassis leg onto the bulkhead. So then we've got a fixing point for when we cut the chassis leg off and put the new chassis leg on. And I'll do that on all four sides, and job's a good one.
Well done, mate. That's not bad for a morning's work.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it?
So bulkhead's in, what's next?
Cut the inner wing off and then cut it all nice around the front panel so we can fit the inner wing up to the front panel and then get it all positioned.
Sound. I suppose you've got to be careful doing that.
Yeah.
So it don't move. Right.
Have your biscuit.
Thanks. Is that my medal, is it?
Yeah, that's all you're getting today.
Thanks.
And,
Dunk.
I'll leave you to it.
All right, bud.
So Keith makes a start drilling out all those spot welds. It's critical he takes his time here so it just doesn't move that front panel. The rest, unfortunately, with all the patchwork repairs, he's just got to cut it off with a grinder. So he cuts it off, cleans up that chassis leg nice, and we're ready to fit the new panel. Brilliant.
Haha, next piece of the puzzle. Oh, sweet. Oh, that's not so good. No, shoot, not that. Oh dear. Paul, come and have a look at this, mate.
What's up, mate?
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's all right. Nice fit, that.
Except for that.
Oh, no. Oh, and there.
Yeah, yeah.
What's happened there, then?
Well, I've just measured it, so got the old ruler out, and from there to there
Yeah.
is 29.5 inches,
Right.
but the other side is 29.
Right, so what you're saying is this panel is 1/2 inch longer
Yeah.
than that side.
Yeah.
So that would be our 1/2 inch there.
Yep.
What about the other panel, the other new one for the other side?
I've just been and measured that, and it's exactly the same as this one. So it's
Right.
29.5 inches
They're
long
both
as
1/2
well.
inch. I mean, maybe they made it sort of so you've got a bit of give and play and stuff like that.
They might have done.
But what's the plan of attack?
Right, I think because obviously the panel's got to go that way,
Yeah.
we'll cut it down here.
I'll cut 1/2 inch off there.
Yeah, so it moves back to the bulkhead, but then we're going to have to re-stitch this in because of the fold.
Oh, yeah, where it goes around that.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Well, yeah. All right, bud. Morning, mate, all right?
Yeah, morning. You all right?
Hey, that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's come out really well.
What a difference. What a difference that is, just with new panels from the other side.
Yeah, it looks absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant. I'm glad you put the door on. I was thinking last night, I had a horrible thought, what if the bulkhead was wrong? And that's why that panel was too big.
Yeah.
And then we were going to put it on and there's going to be a massive door gap because that panel's out. But
Yeah.
that's perfect. So that means that's perfect.
Yeah.
And what's it like at the front?
It's sound. Absolutely, everything lines up, and fantastic idea doing those jig pieces.
Yeah.
Because it just fits, everything just fitted in and welded on superb.
Ace. Right. Well, you've done a good job of that. I'll let you carry on with the other side.
Oh, can I?
Yeah.
Thanks,
See you in a
mate.
bit.
See you later. So, the inner wings are done, chassis rails are done, and now it's time to get the front panel on. Let's get it done.
Da, da.
Sweet. Right, how does this go? Yes. Right, so I've clamped the front panel on because if I weld it and we fit the wings and the bonnet and it's out of line, then we're buggered. So let's trial fit this front end.
Right, push. Down. Oh, gap's nice my side. Is it like your side?
About the same, just needs a little bit.
Oh yeah, lower at the top of that wing. That ain't bad. Do you know, I reckon that's about right. Should we get the grill and just try it in there?
Yeah, definitely.
Right, let's screw this and then take these off, and let's get the grill. Cool. So in the last video we tackled the front end. In this video we're going to tackle the middle.
Yeah, so that means it's the floor and the chassis legs.
Yeah, so here's the chassis leg. So what it does in the middle, it connects to the front one, the nice new one we've put in, and the back chassis rails are okay, so it's just going to go to those. So I think that is the first thing to cut out.
Yeah, do the chassis legs and then cut the floor out.
Yeah, right, let's get cracking. To me, to you.
To you, to me.
We've got to go back a bit.
Nope.
Is that it?
That's it, mate.
Right. It's level now. Cool. That'll do. That'll do, donkey. Hallelujah. Oh, it's too tight. Like a virgin. I get to do the welding. They need to design a better welding mask for people with bald heads that need to wear a hat all year round. We got, you put the earth on.
Should I put the earth on?
Yeah, put the earth on. Hey Keith.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, stuck.
Big head.
I just had a thought, how are we going to get the floor out with this?
Cut it into sections.
Yeah, obviously, but the new floor's one piece.
Cut into sections.
Yeah, massive weld line up the middle.
Yeah, the Mark II, it folded in, didn't it? So
Yeah, it went in like that and then across. Oh, through the back window.
yeah.
Right, all right.
Yeah, we'll get it in, mate.
Sound, all right. Right, I'll get this in. Well, that was easy.
That's good.
Straight in. Right, the other side will probably have a problem because it's been repaired at the back, so it ain't going to be as easy to get off, but there you go. I'll let you do the other side.
No, thanks. You are so kind.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sweet.
Ha! Right, chassis rails are in, so now it's time to cut this rotten floor out. As you can see, I've already drilled the spot welds out, so the next job is to cut the floor out in sections, so let's get cutting.
Is that the old floor? Like, it was behind that.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. Bodged again.
a floor over another floor.
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's definitely
Scrap.
Dock cotton.
Yeah.
So that's all the floor cut out, Keith?
Yes, it's bloody good.
Yeah, all nice. All the surfaces are clean and primed, so it's all protected. So let's have a bit of fun now and get this floor in. Go on then. See if it will fit in the back window first.
Let's get it upside down and inside out, eh?
Whoa, got my finger.
Go and put your gloves on.
Yeah. Oh, it's nearly there.
Watch your fingers.
Done. That's it, I've bled for the car now.
No, you haven't, because you've got gloves.
That means I'm keeping it. Point of no return now. Did it get you? Got me as well.
Oh, it's stuck on the camera lens.
Yeah. Right, ready? Do you remember early minis, they put them underneath, but then when you're driving, because the bulkhead's there and the floor's underneath, the water would go in. We've got to actually go past and then back under the floor and then in.
But don't forget, we've got to cut that off.
Yeah. Well, not that bit, it's that bit and the bit at the top. That bit stays.
Yes.
Just back a tiny bit more and then... Caught on this bit.
That's got him. Mine's up against.
Is it up against the top?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not too bad. That's good, mate. You drilled it all out, ready for welding?
Yeah, all ready for you, bud.
Right. I'll get in. I'll stand down on it and weld it at the same time. Oh, we're not Nemo today. Bought a new mask.
Oh, no.
Today we are Spider-Man and it fits me head with my hat on. Awesome. Right, let's get in.
Right, it's on 3.
Just bang it up to 4.
Sure?
Yeah. Right, is it on 4?
Cheers.
Right. Are we ready? Ready! I'm scratching my new helmet. Headbutting. Stop the sunburn. Right. Right, yeah, good. Floor's looking all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not so holy now, mate.
No, we're slowly getting like a mass pile of Escort MK1 over there at the back there. We always keep all the bits we cut off because when I did the Mark II, it was the heater box, wasn't it, on the back of the bulkhead and the wipers, like the brackets. We were like diving through scrap trying to find the brackets, but yeah, so we keep all the stuff. Once we built the car, then we'll chuck it.
Yeah.
But yeah, floor pans in, welded, ground. I only crushed my hand twice.
So told you to wear gloves.
Them gloves, I think a lot of you commented in the last video, them gloves are rubbish. Like you only just touch them with the sparks and they go up. It's like gun cotton, isn't it? You know. Last thing to do on the floor. So we got these braces. The kid had bought them. Keith's probably on the inside. It's starting to rust already on the outside, so we'll have to rub them off. But they're supposed to be lightweight. I suppose it's just because the holes were, you know, in them.
So they fit in there. There's marks on the floor already where they've got to fit. So you just push them down and weld them in. It's easy as that.
Yeah, one either side. And then our floor is done. And that's it for this video. We've done our front section, we've now done our middle section, and what's next, Keith?
So now it is sills, inner rear tubs, and the rear arches.
Yeah, so that'll be in the next video. And just a quick update on the front. I got some new wings. There's a local place called Smith & Deakin. Luckily, they had them in stock. Nice fitting, does the job well. Also, we've got our bonnet on properly, bonnet hinges and bonnet pins, and the grill's on properly. So all is good. The bonnet is a bit bad quality, so we'll have to sort it out. Well, Keith will have to sort it out down in the body shop, but yeah, starting to come together. Real chuff with it now.
It's looking good.
Today we're going to tackle the sides. So what is that, Keith?
That is the front balance Acker sill.
Front balance. So we've got a new sill to put on to get rid of what's left of this one. We've got our inner wheel arch tubs. These are for 15-inch wheels, and thank you, assistant
Deirdre.
we've got rear bubble arches. So instead of those horrible fiberglass ones on the back, we're going to be putting these metal ones on. So
Yeah, better job.
let's get cutting.
Right, to put the sill on, we've got to get rid of this manky wheel arch. So what I'm going to do is drill these rivets out and then hopefully pull the old wheel arch off. So let's get drilling. Right, so the sill's cut, fitted and self-tapered in, ready for the master welder to come down and weld it. So let's go and give him a shout.
Right, well, we've got our arch off, we've got our sill welded on. I didn't want to show you that because it's a bit boring just putting a sill on. You had fun with that.
Just a little.
Well, that was stuck on well anyway. So the sill's on, we've put the door on just to make sure we've got the sill on right, and we're ready to put on our arch. Now, this has had a quarter in the past, I think both sides. There's a massive valley all the way down there, which I've tried beating out, but it's
solid.
Absolutely solid, yeah. So what we're going to do, instead of welding it up to this arch, we're going to just leave a little lip and then spot it all the way around. And then we'll keep our shape. We've got a nice sturdy arch over this old piece. And, you know, when I'm driving it as a daily, I ain't going to care, sorry. When I sell it, the new person that buys it might drive it as a daily and, you know, they ain't going to care that much. So I think first, how do you reckon we're going to do this wheel arch?
Put a centre line in between this turret.
Yeah.
And then put the wheel arch on and then
Put
the
a
centre,
line,
yeah, centre that, make sure that it's lined up. Maybe use a plumb bob.
Yeah, yeah. So we've got to centre up the wheel arch with where the wheel comes out. That's going to be probably the hardest bit because we don't want to do that wrong.
Yeah.
Next, we are going to place the arch onto the body and then draw our line around the arch nice and clearly.
Yeah.
And then what, leave 10 mil?
Yeah.
10
yeah,
mil
at
in
least
there.
10 mil.
Yeah, and then we're going to cut that out. It's going to look a bit horrendous as we're doing that, I expect. And then after that, we've got to cut out this inner wheel tub. So it is absolutely rotten, this thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it's not going to take much cutting, but we'll get there. Right?
Yeah, so the rear turret has been, looks like stick welded in. It's the wow, you can, yeah, what do they call that welding? Pterodactyl poo. And it, yeah, so that's going to want a lot of cutting. Get all that tub out, ready for our new wheel arch.
Sweet.
Okay, so we're, oh, have you? Come on, get it out, let me. Thanks, Dad. Sick all over the floor. So we've cut everything out. We've got a massive gaping hole in the side of our car. Looks a bit worrying, really. We've cut out ready for our inner tub to go in. Now this, we've probably cut a bit too much there. I think we've got a little gap we're gonna have to fill in after. And once we pulled the tub off, most of the rear seat base and floor and everything came off with it. So we've repaired all that. So we've got a nice surface now to weld to.
Obviously, we are going to weld those up. We're not going to leave those.
Oh no, yeah, we've got to weld that. Weld that and a lot of brushable sealer.
Yeah.
Right, time to get this on. So you get one bit and I'll get the other. Look at that, fits straight in. Right, where's the grips? Let me just sort. And that's pretty much where it's going to be. We're nicely in the middle where our wheel's going to come out, and we're going to weld it in. There's going to be a lot of plates going all around it just to make it watertight.
Yeah.
The only problem I can see is it's very, very wide. So when we get our arch on, we're going to have to cut a lot of this off to get it to go all the way back.
But it's better to cut than to add, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. At least when we get our arch on, it's going to meet the arch.
Yeah.
And you know, it's going to be even better, isn't it, really? Right, so time to get welding.
It's good stuff.
Looking all right, mate?
Yeah, it's absolutely super.
That is
solid.
solid.
Super strong.
I'm glad we put it higher up
Yep.
because I want to do this as like a tarmac spec, you know, so it's like low and wide.
Yeah, no forest rallying.
No, no. I once did a night rally about 10 years ago, plot and bash, which was quite good. I did it in a Mini on slick tyres. So that was fun going through a farmer's field like at 2 in the morning sideways. But yeah, this ain't going to be, it's going to be just abused on the road within the speed limits. Right, so this looks like it's actually too narrow, so it's not going to meet this, but then this is too wide.
Yep.
So I think we need to sort of like cut the corners off this.
Yep. Do a bit at a time.
Yeah, put our arch on, and then we might have to build a piece up just so it touches the inside of that arch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Stops the water going inside, doesn't it? So, right, let's get cutting these bits off.
Yep.
Cool.
Okay. Your f***ing aftershave.
Right, can you smell it? Right. Right, let's have a look. Fits all right around there. That one pulling in at the bottom, but it's not too bad. It actually touches. So from there to there, and the same the other side. So we'll just have to put a bit in the middle. Yeah, that is good. Right, so we'll pop some holes in it for the plugs of weld, and then we're ready to go.
Get welding.
So this is the best little tool I've ever bought and the cheapest. Ace little thing, just goes, pops a little hole in there, and that's how we'll weld that to the wing. Awesome. How good is that?
Saves me drilling them all, doesn't it?
Ace, isn't it? It was only like 20 quid. Is that dead on?
Yep.
Sure?
Yeah.
That's all right at the back?
Yeah.
Can't move it once it's on. Right. Where's the hammer? Hold that a sec. Just push it in with that instead.
Right, donkey.
Ready? Oh, you welded me hammer then.
That'd be the first, wouldn't it, welding wood?
Yeah. Let's just stand back and have a look at our arch. Okay, and our arch is on, so that's it for this video. We've done our sill, we've done the tub, and we've got our arch on.
Looking good.
Probably the longest job we've done so far on the car.
Yes.
Just getting the tub in, we've probably got the floor in the same amount of time it took just to get that inner wheel tub in.
Yeah, but it's got to be right, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. We've done our rear seat back as well, so it's got a bit more shape rather than just a flat panel.
Yep.
And we're going to get on with the other side now off camera. So next video is going to be the rear panel and the roof skin. So I've never done a roof skin before.
No, that could be the longest job yet.
Yeah, let's fingers crossed for the next video that we don't muck that up.
Back panel.
Back panel.
I'll get cutting.
Yeah, brill. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit. Right, in our panels, the lad has actually bought the chassis end panels. So what I've got to do is measure them up, cut these old sections out and then replace them with the new ones. But as you can see, it's a little bit dot cotton. So I think the best thing to do is cut all the rot out, weld in new sections here, cut this piece out as well where the back panel support brace goes, cut this piece out and fit a new chassis end rail as well. So let's get on and do it.
Well done, that looks nice, doesn't it?
It's all right, mate, isn't it?
Oh, you've repaired all in there as well?
Yeah, rear chassis legs cut off, new ones welded back in, and the sections that I said about before, cut them all off and welded new pieces in there as well.
Ideal.
So it's all done. Yeah, it's good. I don't think the boot's going to fit very well though, mate.
What is up with that? So this, like, where the seal sits goes down and then, like, comes away?
Yeah, it hasn't been formed right, so I think what we'll have to do is cut in here and then reform it to go round and fit underneath.
Bend it in or something?
Yeah, yeah.
So, oh, and the inner wheel arch bits?
Yes, yeah, got to do those. So we'll take this off and then I can get on with the spare wheel carrier, but I've just got to show you something that's not very good.
Yeah, okay,
All right.
Let's get this off. Right, what's up then?
So obviously we've got these two new panels,
Yeah.
but the lower panel of the quarter panel.
Which way does that go? That goes that way around?
Yes, yeah, that's the spare wheel one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lower panel of the quarter
Yeah.
was rotten.
Ah, right.
So I've cut that off and I need you to make me a new panel, please, because obviously they don't do them as a repair panel.
Ah, so we need like a bit that comes up.
Yes.
Where's the old bit?
There you go, sir.
Right. Oh God, look at that. So that went like there.
Yes.
Right, so we need to make one of those,
Yes, please.
join it onto the thing.
Yeah,
Right,
on the English wheel, please.
I'll get wheeling. Bought some new gloves. Get out of the way. Bought some new gloves. Hopefully, if I can get it on. These are going to be better than the last ones. So, screw fix. What are they, £1.99. So let's see if they're going to be any better, shall we? So this panel that Keith wants me to make, it's got like a curve in it that way, as well as a curve that way. And it's got a 90-degree bend on it. So we're going to have to get a wider piece of metal and start making this curve first and then sort of trim it up after. So let's start beating some metal. So here's our plate we're going to use, trusty hammer. So got a nice round edge to one end, point the other. We're going to use the point to start with, start really putting some shape into this thing. So this is where big muscles come into it. Keith. Right, so we've got our shape. It's a bit buckled, you don't have to worry about that really. I've got my Mickey Mouse English wheel. It's probably the cheapest English wheel money can buy. I think it was about 300 quid really. Ideal for hobby use or, you know, light work. Really you want a wider jaw, but gets into the thousands then. But yeah, got our piece of metal, looks mangled as hell. Let's start using the wheel. So what I'm doing is just pushing slightly on the sides, and that's giving us the shape. When I'm rolling it, it's just allowing that panel to just shape down nicely. I think we're kind of getting there now. A lot of people think use an English wheel and it's going to be like mirror finished, but what's them things in America, Keith? The Plenisher. They're like noisy as hell, aren't they? You know, it's obviously two things, you know, it's like having a dolly and hammer and beating it really fast. That'd make it flat, but the neighbours would go nuts around here. So if I show you that, we've got our nice ridge that way, but we haven't got the shape that way. So what I'll do now is I'll push it back in, but I'll be pushing on either end, and that'll hopefully keep our curve, but give us our bend that way. So let's have a go at that. Right, you can tell we're curving the panel because it's starting to come in at the sides now. Obviously the metal's got to go somewhere. When it's pulling up, it's squeezing in. Where's the other piece? So that's the shape of the old one. That's the shape of the new one. I think we're about right now. We've got our curve, we've got our bend that way. We need to cut it out and then put our 90-degree bend in it. So let's get the tin snips. So that's our 2 pieces cut. The only thing left to do is put a 90-degree bend, same as this one. Took my hat off because this is actually hot work, isn't it, Keith? Doing this. Keith's air freezing. So to put the bend in, we need to change this wheel. Instead of one with a peak on like this, we need to use a dead flat one. Because basically all we're going to do is push the metal in and bend it round this edge, and then we can tidy it up after with the dolly. So let's change that. Okay, this is where we need our assistant Keith. Keith, because I'm too lazy and I haven't bolted this into the floor yet, come and get your fat weight behind it. So where our line is, where that 90-degree bend is, actually it's that way. I was about to bend it
the wrong way,
inwards, so I need to bend it that way so it comes downwards. Yeah, we're just going to basically put it in and then push down on this side, and then that will tweak that 90-degree in it. So let's do that.
in it.
In it, mate. So you can kind of see already it's putting a crease in there. So it's starting to get there. I think, mate, we are done. Where is the other bit? There it is.
Moment of truth.
Yeah. Is it the same shape? It is. Have a look at that. Let me show you. There we go. I'm quite chuffed with that. Right, time to get it on the car. Keith, you can do it. That's my work done for the day. Right, you got that ground?
Yep, all ready for you to put your master pit on.
Nice. I'm going to put this on because it's the best thing I've done all week.
The only thing.
Mole. Why is that like that?
Why is what like what?
There's like a ½ inch gap between that new part and the quarter.
No, you cut it wrong.
Where's the old one? Which way round is it? No, that's spot on.
Ah.
What?
I cut an extra bit off, I forgot.
Oh, no way. That's the best thing I've done all week. Oh. He welded those in and put the back panel on. We fitted that boot, the composite boot skit, you know.
Yeah, the nicely made fiberglass.
It's the same as the bonnet. It's terrible. Like the actual curve where it comes down round is just totally different to what the rear quarter is. So we're going to have to play with it in the body shop. So that's the rear end done. So we've done our front, middle, sides, now our rear. What we're going to do is move it off that table because Keith was standing on the ladder.
Yeah.
You let it, the grinder went away from you, didn't it, in there?
Yeah, the grinder caught on something and it just snapped out my hand, and it was lucky it didn't go through the cable, but
it was just whizzing around the boot floor on its own, still turned on, which was, yeah, so we're not going to do this roof skin with it way up there.
no.
In the air on that table. So it's nice and light now. It hasn't got like 20 layers of metal all over it. Easy to pick up, so we just hoiked it across and it's down on our ramp.
Yeah.
Right then, Keithy, today is a new day, and today is the biggest day of all, is doing this roof skin.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, because we don't know how the roof's fixed,
Yeah.
obviously we've got the spot welds here, so I think what we'll do is before we cut the main part out,
Yeah.
drill the spot welds out here first so it doesn't buckle.
Oh yeah, just in case
Well,
you're
I'm pushing
pushing a bit
down.
hard. Are they same in the back?
Yeah. Yeah, and then cut the main metalwork out and then see how the gutter rails are held in.
Yeah. They don't look like spot welds. There's little blobs I can see.
Yeah.
But it's not like a weld, is it?
No.
It almost looks like there's like sealer or something coming out from inside that. Never done one before?
No. No.
It's your job?
Yeah, it's like everything, isn't it? Just,
Left to you.
yeah. No.
Right, you carry on, mate.
All right, mate, I'll grab the drill.
Did you get that one?
That's a bit hard. Did you go through?
Just a little.
Are we sitting comfortably, children? I shall begin.
It's getting all your grey hairs on this.
Did you just say grey hairs?
Yeah.
They're not grey.
Yeah, so obviously because we don't know whether it's spot welded or just sealed, I think the easiest thing to do is grab the old grinder, small, thin grinding wheel,
Yeah.
and then just go slowly up and down, take it back, and then hopefully with the mold grips, peel it back and take it off.
And just do it a bit at a time, yeah.
Because obviously if we use a spot weld drill, it could go through the gutter as well, and we could.
But if it is bonded, that will heat up enough to...
Yeah, I don't think it is bonded, because I don't think they would have done that in
No.
those days. But
It'd have been, I mean, that's like braised, isn't it? and
yeah,
stuff, so
yeah, it's solid.
that was proper solid. All right then.
Yep, and then I'll wire brush this off.
Yeah.
Put some
That.
primer on it.
Yeah, weld through or get some zinc or something.
Yeah.
Cool. Right, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, mate.
Ow! Caught me nuts.
Old age.
Here's our lovely new roof skin.
Ready?
Oh, look at it, nice. So we've cut the bits off, we've cleaned it, painted it.
Yep. It's all ready to go.
Let's try it on. Which way's the front?
That's the front.
Is it?
No.
Oh, it's the back, right. Let's get him on.
Lovely.
Imagine that. fall on the skin and like in half. Right, mine ain't going in. Is yours in?
No, not yet.
Hang on.
Yeah, mine's in.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, it's not bad though.
No.
Right.
There's only one thing though, mate.
What?
We've got to cut a sunroof in.
Oh yeah, I want another sunroof.
Yeah.
There's some mold grips.
Cool, I was together.
Yeah. Right, let's have a look around the back. No, it's still got to go forwards low. Yeah, if you look at this, it's like miles out my side.
See, mine's not going to go anymore.
So that's in line with the thing now, but I need to crimp it at that. And then that's in line with that thing there now.
Yeah, see, mine's nice there.
Yeah. Right. Let's take it back off and drill loads of holes in it.
No, that's it.
We can't, you've got to drill holes. Stop whistling. Stop whistling.
But I like whistling. Strangers in the night.
Shouldn't be so happy in your work. It's not right.
Changing glances. Yeah, we've got to grind all those out as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got to grind those out. Do you want me to mark these as well, George?
Yeah. You fucking drill on the fit.
Well, I don't need to. I can do 2 inches. 1, 2.
1. That'll do. Right, where's my pen top? Look at that for a catch. I catched it good, mush.
I thought you were going to drill through your fingers then.
Yeah, I'm fucking good though. Right, ready?
Yeah.
Get it on. I reckon from here.
Yeah?
1, 2.
Yes!
Easy as that. So we need to get some like mold grips to get in there, but all ours are too wide. They're going to start denking the roof, aren't they?
Butcher the grips.
So this is where we start butchering our grips. So we've got these, which are nice and thin, so we're just going to cut these ends off. And then hopefully they'll fit in there.
Yeah.
Right, let's cut them. Right, let's get welded. Oh, that was easy.
Job's good, mate.
Hey, these panels are mint, aren't they?
Yeah, Magnum. Can't beat them, to be honest with you.
Just fitted straight on. We've got to do a little bit of filler in at the front and back, just obviously where that lead work was.
Yeah, and that's it.
And that's it. And it's like,
Solid.
I don't want to punch it too much, put a big dent in it. Imagine that. No sunroof, no aerial hole.
No dents.
No dents.
Perfect.
Perfect roof.
And it only took us a morning, not a day.
Yeah. Well, yeah, just a morning's work, wasn't it, really? How many panels we got left to weld in?
None.
Is that it? So our pile of panels has gone. So next thing, I suppose, roll cage, isn't it?
Yes.
So we'll cut out this support frame.
Yep.
And then try and fit the roll cage in. I suppose where it used to go back to the original tubs,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to like
Adapt.
cut that and join it because of our big tubs. But yeah, let's start doing the interior and
You saying I've got big tubs?
be down bodywork on Friday, if we can. Oh no, we've got to build it, put the engine in and all that lot. Yeah, build it up.
Right, roll cage, fit the seats, and hopefully if we've got enough time, start mocking it up.
Yeah, we've got to put everything together just to make sure it all still fits.
Yeah.
The roll cage is only bolt in, so should go in.
Should go in.
Just straight in, hopefully. Have to modify it for the rear tubs, but that's about it. So I've got to do some paperwork. I'll let you carry on cutting out that little frame.
Yep, I shall get the grinder, mate.
Sound, right? See you in a bit.
Okay.
So that wasn't too bad, was it, fitting that?
No,
We had to make no modifications whatsoever.
really.
So obviously our tubs are massive, so we had to cut the backs off to get that in. And then it's like a massive jigsaw puzzle, isn't it, of balancing stuff in position.
not an easy one.
It's a right pain. And what do you reckon? I know it's bolting.
No, it's staying in, mate.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to take it out because
No.
the weird thing about this is, so the back goes in easy. The front leg, you have to like hook up in there and then drag the bottom of it across the floor, which is scratching the floor already.
Yeah.
And then you have to ratchet strap that to get the door bars in.
Yeah, and then if we've got to paint it, and if we're going to carpet it,
It's
then
going
it's
to
going to
wreck it,
bottom.
isn't it? So I think this is going to go either body coloured or we're going to have loads of masking tape
Yeah, I can mask it.
all around this. So, but yeah, jobs are good and that's done. So the next thing is we got these Super Duper seat runners. Well, they're not runners, mounts, I suppose. So we have to find a position for this, so this is going to be the hard thing. So that basically welds on there. We bore the hole in the middle. That slides through and then through the sill that side. This plate welds on, and then the seat goes on top of that. There is movement in it and stuff, but this is going to be one to, like...
Yeah, I'm going to follow you on this one because I haven't got a clue.
I reckon bolt it all up to the seat, bolt this onto the seat, the rods in, everything like that.
Put the seat in.
And then we'll just go from there. Yeah, as long as my head don't touch the roof, that's about the main thing, isn't it? So, are we going to do rally car where it's like the passenger seats lower to the ground, or just do them same?
Just do the same.
Yeah, yeah. Right, let's crack on with the seats.
Sound.
You follow me.
Follow you?
Yeah.
To me.
Any mices in the bottom? No. No. Oh, it's so nice. That's for side fat.
Oh, is it?
That is. It's for like, it's like back fat support, that is. It's like, yeah, if you've got bad kidneys. They're all right though, aren't they? Oh, we've got to actually sit in it. Oh. Tell you what, that's, I'm like that. Need to lose some weight, I think. Thank you very much. Right, which bracket goes where? Never ending bolt. Right then, so at least I didn't make it like something weird, like 7 mil. You're just doing it with nothing. I suppose it depends how wide the tunnel is.
So you can see how wide your arse is.
Yeah, because you could have it outwards and then you get the bolts in easy. But then do you...
I don't know outwards.
I don't think you do. I think you have it that way around. You bolt it in and then you slide the seat in and then bolt the seat in. If we mount them brackets that are going to go on them bars in the middle hole of that one and the middle hole of that one, then we can go... We've got like one up and down and then we've got loads to forwards and backwards for like short asses who want to drive it. No offence.
No offence to short people.
Short people, my brother, get him driving it.
There's no fitting instructions.
No. So is it worth welding that tack, 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 tack? And then we know where that is, we know where that is, we can sort of stick it in where it's going to be and then do a line down. Drop that, mate. I'm getting double jointed fingers to get this in. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do this in the car. It's going to be easier putting the side bits in first. Right.
I cheated.
Done.
I turned that round.
Did you? Cheeky. Right. I'll plug the welder in, Keith. So manly. So manly. Right. Ready? Eye pies? No, it's alright. Hopefully we've not burnt big holes in our seat.
Oh, that was nice and warm.
Alright, we're not on fire. Ah, fuck. There's a hot blob. Right, top bit. Ready? Okay, so we've mounted our mounts onto the bar, mounting
hill
bar,
climbing mounting.
and we've marked on the seat where the bar comes out there, and that's, you know, where the back one comes out. So I think we're going to lift the seat in, get nice and comfortable, and then
mark it.
Start drilling some holes. Yeah. Right?
Sorted.
Go on then, Keith. Hopefully it'll fit.
Yeah, of course it will. Bit of a squeeze.
Right.
Get comfy, because you're going to be the passenger.
How much leg room do you want? I suppose we can move it.
No, you didn't hear me.
What?
You get comfortable, because you're going to be the passenger.
Yeah, no, this is my car. I reckon that's got to come a bit more forwards.
That's better there.
Like that.
Yeah.
So if I'm on the other side, it's about right, maybe up a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It will lift up a bit when we drill the holes and fitted the bars.
Yeah, sound right. Let's mark it there, and then we'll level it up, and then
Drill the holes.
job's a good one. Oh. Straight through the handbrake now. Use it. Sound.
Ready, steady, go.
Yep. Let's put it on right.
Okay, shh, don't tell anybody. It's easier to do it this way anyway.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's all right. It's only tacked in for now, so we'll weld it in properly, but I think that's about where we want it, because I can see out the window, and the gear stick's going to be like at full reach.
Yeah.
So if I'm strapped in like this, I don't want to be, I'll probably have to bring the steering wheel closer to me. But yeah, that's about right. I think we'll do the driver's one like identical height and same, so it looks nicer and stuff. So yeah, it's just the seat belts next. Where are the seat belts? Go and grab me a belt. What did he buy, that kid? Was it
The full harness, wasn't it?
full harnesses? Oh yeah. Oh, that's a point. At the back, we got no harness. We got no harness bar on this cage.
No.
Let's have a look. How are we going to do that? So with these belts, I know for road use, just for normal driving, you're allowed the harness to come out of the seat and do a 45-degree drop, like as a maximum, no more than that.
Okay.
So obviously it's bad for your shoulders. So usually you go through your rear seatbelt
Anchorage.
anchors, you know. But competition use, you're only allowed a 20-degree as a maximum drop.
Right.
Now 20-degree takes us, there's no bar here, so we can't fix to that. So it takes us onto that, and that's flimsy, isn't it?
Yeah, so we cut that old bar off, didn't we? At the
Oh yeah, that angle iron. So we put the roll cage tube through that. So what we could do, have you got one of them seatbelt anchors, just the eyelet?
Yeah. There you go.
I wonder if we can put the mount onto the back of this thin sheet and then bring something off that bar to that mount to make it strong, and then basically just have that coming through there.
That against that panel,
Yeah,
and then make a
mount off that bar. Yeah, that'll do it, and then it'll just fix, and that's about 20 degrees off that seat.
Yeah.
Sound. Let's do that.
Do it.
Got my head stuck. Keithy, let's try these belts, mate.
Okie dokie. How's it coming, boss?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right, I'll thread this through and you clip it in. There's one. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Feels pretty good in here, doesn't it?
Yes, I've got to put a bit more weight on though because my fat pats
I'm,
don't touch.
I'm like, I'm snug. I'm snug in this chair. It's yeah, obviously built for people like me. Didn't get time to mock up, unfortunately, on this one. We need to do that to make sure like the tunnel's wide enough for the gearbox.
Yeah.
Get the diff on and stuff like that. So we need to make sure stuff like the wheels come out in the middle of the arch, because now's the time where we can move them. We did mark it, so it should work.
They'll be fine.
Stuff like gearbox mounts in the tunnel and things like that. We just need to make sure everything fits, because Keith's face he pulls when I have to cut something or drill it after he's painted it.
It's not good.
It's not nice to watch. Like, we're gonna have to start on the front because we're kind of rear heavy on the car. So I think if we put the back diff in first, the car's just gonna fall off the ramp. So engine in, box in, front cross member and stuff like that. We've got all the parts laid out, so it's all ready to fit to our car. One thing I just wanted to say about the paint of the car. Now I've gone personally from wanting it white with a black stripe and then white with a gold stripe to match the gold wheels. Then it went to red with a gold stripe and then green with a darker green stripe.
Grey.
Now I think I'm on gunmetal grey with a black stripe and gunmetal grey wheels. You're like British Racing green, kind of darker green.
Yeah, or a bright colour.
And then there's blues. There's loads of stuff. But what we want to do is we want to let you decide. So in a sec, if you pause the video, write in the comments, and then on what colour you'd do it if it was yours. And then all I'll do is I'll put the name and the colour. We'll put everybody's into a hat and pick it out, and we're going to spray it that colour. So if it looks hideous, it's your fault. So yeah, that'll be a good way of choosing the colour, I think. It's totally out of my hands.
Yeah, brilliant idea.
Right, so let's start smashing this car together. Right, because time is of the essence and Keith wants this car down the body shop ASAP, we're going to build it up with all the parts still dirty. It just means we can fit it up quick, and then when we strip it, Keith's got the car, I've got the bits I need, and I can be cleaning them up and painting him when he's doing that. So let's smash on. That's nice and bent, isn't it? Hammer. Didn't line the holes up. Crack me straight in the head. Oh, great banter, Keith.
Drop that, mate.
Right, lift. Okay, down. Right, pump me up, baby. Now start pumping. Okay, I'll get the engine.
Pump away, pump away.
Where we snap the distributor off. That's where it drops on my foot. If it drops on my foot, it'll always just miss the steel toe cap, so it gets me right on the toe. Well, just above the toe. Right, down a bit, back a bit, down a bit. There we go. Okay, where's the gearbox?
It's like my Zimmer frame, isn't it?
Oh, Bottom of the bag.
Shall I pick them up?
Where's all the nuts? Are there fucking nuts with it? Where? I'll tell you what, this is heavy. Down a bit better. Ah, there we go. It's just, I think you're right in the way of the camera there. Sorry. Just take the extension off it. I'll do it the other way now. He's got it on undo. Okay, I'm relaxed. Right, this is where the chain breaks. Okay. Right, you can undo this and I'll lift it.
I don't mind lifting it.
No, that's right, I'll do it.
I'll lift it up to you then.
Because you're old. We ain't going to do it like that with it painted because that's... going. Okay. Hang on. Hang on.
I'm hanging.
Right, let's go down with the engine, Yunjin.
Yunjin? Well,
I reckon we're going to have to put the engine mounts on after. I reckon slide the engine near enough where it is, then put the engine mounts on with them over there. Right, so take 2 without the mounts on. Let's try that. Do you reckon we're going to end up having to put the engine in first, then put the box on the engine?
no.
Because it'll be a bit of a...
No, I think we can do it this way.
See, the Mark II, the engine mounts are just a pin and it pushes in and slots down. Yeah. Whereas this is got, it goes either side of it.
Yeah, take them off first and then just put it in like we are now.
Yeah.
I think we'll do it.
Definitely easier on a Mark II though. Right, let's go backwards a little bit. And then we've got to go down with the engine. Oh, did it for us. Right, ready?
Okay, well, she's stuck on the crossmember.
Right, back a bit.
That's it. That's against the bulkhead.
Right, he's in. Put that. Right, let's try and get these mounts on. I need to like twist the engine like that, and then we'll get it in.
There's an engine crane there.
Oh, did you just bang your head? Right, we've got our engine in, fits in the engine bay good. Unfortunately, the gearbox don't fit. So the tunnel's okay, it's wide enough, only just.
Yeah.
We might have to just massage it a
It's a
little bit.
snug fit.
Keith's drilled the rear gearbox mount out because that's in the wrong place, and because it's now a 5-speed box and not a 4-speed like it was standard, where the gear stick comes out, the hole is in the wrong place. So what we've got to do again,
Bit of seat removal.
yeah, seat removal, bounce out, and then the lad had bought this which sits on top of the tunnel, so we're going to have to cut the hole where the gear stick comes out, weld this on, and then hopefully that's our engine and box in.
Yeah.
So let's get cracking. So we cut that out, bit of a change of plan already. I want to do this more as a road car, something that people can enjoy every day, not just like competition use. And with that on there, that looks a bit gross, doesn't it? Obviously ideal if it's just something you're going to smash around a rally stage or something like that. But for driving every day, it's just not appealing to me really. So we've just cut that piece out, and actually the gear stick comes out there, and I think what we're going to do is just turn it round like that and then just weld it back on. So our gear stick comes out there in the middle of the hole. It looks nice. I'll be able to put a thin piece of carpet on it. So let's do that instead. It's a tapiometer. Sorted.
Twisted. That's it. She's on, Chuck.
Putting this on when it's painted. Gonna be a lot of touch up. Any problem with aftermarket stuff? It just never fits properly, does it?
No. If you do everything, I'll just stand here and hold the light.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for that.
Okay.
That's all you're good for. That's all you're good for. Right, next leaf spring.
Hole's not big enough. Hole is definitely not big enough, mate.
So we're already struggling with this. The front bush didn't fit, which was too wide, and the rear bushes were too wide, and now the little lowering block, I suppose, the hole in the middle of the leaf spring's not big enough for that to go in, so I have to drill that out. That's going to be fun through the leaf spring, isn't it? Yeah, it's not like it's hardened sprung metal or anything, is it? No. Right, let's get drilling. So we're going to cut back to me not being stupid this time. So I was trying to fit that block that way round when actually it fits the other way round. And a little bolt goes in to hold it in place. It just shows how long I haven't done one for. And it's the problem of not taking the car apart in the first place. Come on in. Hopefully we've got that the right way around now. Oh, can't do that when it's painted. But we will. Yours in?
Yep.
Mine's about 2 inches out. I'm only joking. That's it, right.
Do you know what, that wouldn't surprise me at the moment.
Let's get these U-bolts in. Goes on like that. See? There we go, we'll get it right in the end. Can you squeeze your bits in? Yeah. All right?
Yeah. That's bitter.
I hope that's the way of doing it anyway.
Yeah.
We'll soon let us know if it's wrong. Probably will be. So we might need lowering yet, so we might have to put
bigger aluminium block,
a bigger spacer in there. So
yeah.
We'll leave these like that for now.
Yeah.
And then if we do, we don't have to, yeah, and then we'll cut them off once we know the right height.
Okay.
Right, let's go and lob the diff in and the half shafts.
Okay.
Okay. Morris Minors. Back when you were 16 in the 1800s.
Yeah, we used to have a Morris Minor van. If you spun the back wheels, you used to break the back half shafts.
I used to work at a tartar place. tatter, and it was pickup trucks, and these used to fail. People driving down the road, and the rear half shaft used to come out like this with the wheel and drum. So funny. I'll do this in one switch, and then it looks more professional. Okay, ready?
Wow, that was one real swoosh, wasn't it?
I'll do it again. Right, ready? Oh. Right, ready? A third time, fourth time.
Take 6.
It's definitely in there, the dip. I'll do. So we're having disc brakes on this, but just for mock-up, we're going to fit the drum brakes, and I think I've got to take this back out again after all that, and then put that on, then this. Just like that. It don't fit. Come on, you bugger. Oh, it's all bent.
Paul fitting half shaft, take 20.
Thank you very much. There we go. Right, we need bolts. Bolts.
Same one.
Ready? Loudest plane in the world goes over as well. Oh, drop that wheel bearing in all the swarf on the floor. Yeah, put it straight on. I'll give it a wipe first. Where's me wheel? Do, do, do. Okie dokie. See you in a minute. And there we go, folks. That is our patchwork quilt Escort by the looks of it.
She's lovely.
All built up and ready. It's always good building it up, because at least I can now see that those wheels come out dead in the middle of that bubble arch,
Yeah.
which is ideal. There's still loads to do. We're on day 40 something now. We've got to basically strip it. We've got to flip it upside down. There's a couple of repairs we've got to do to the chassis rail.
Yeah.
And the spring hangers as well. We've got to replace those, and weld the tubs, you know, up to the arch and stuff like that. Still lots of work to do. Will we do it? So remember to put in the comments on what colour you would do this car if it was yours, and then, as I said, we'll put them in a hat, pick it out.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for a good one. Nobody put pink.
I was just going to say pink.
Yeah, no one put pink or like, yeah, a luminous orange or
Yeah.
something. Well, mind you, orange is not bad. Welcome back, everybody, to part 10 of our Restoration Roulette Mark 1 Escort build, where we're trying to get this Escort built in 2 months and under a budget of £20,000. So the budget's looking well.
The budget's really good.
The timescale's not. So no more chatting, no more mucking about. Let's strip this thing down and get it down that body shop. Ready, Keith?
Yep, let's go, mate.
Right then, Keithy, you drive. I'll try and
We're going to do rallycross.
hold on. Let me see if I can get me legs in the golf buggy bags. As long as I don't come off, we're all right. Right, go for it then.
Okay.
Go on, just keep going.
Pothole. Okay, keep going. Yeah, go on. It'll be drifting. Rear end out. Oh, I'm losing it. That'll do. Hello. Oh, yeah. Right, let's get it in. Right, bump. Done.
Sorted, mate.
That wasn't so bad.
Shut the door, go away. That's it, video's over.
Right, so we finally got it down to the body shop, my domain. So what we're going to do now is DA all this paintwork back down to the bare metal and then start the filler work. So let's get DA in. Right, so as you can see, 40 grit, then 80, then I've blown it off, degreased it, and then just given it a light skim of fiberglass over where the welding was so it seals it. Then I'll grind that off and give it a skim of filler. Sweet. Right then, so where Paul's welded the inner arch to the outer arch, obviously you saw me grinding the welds down, but I've just put a skim of filler just to take them off, and what I'll do is give this now a second coat of filler, and then rub this down, which by then this second coat of filler should be dry, and then I'll start rubbing that down. Let's get rubbing. Right, second skim is done. Now the next bit to do is where the low spots are, I'm just going to give those a skim of filler just to bring them up a bit, and then I'll rub that down and show you how I use the tape to get the sways lines. Right, so the easiest way to do these sways lines is a piece of 2-inch tape, follow roughly where the sways line's got to go, and then obviously the 2-inch tape, because it's thicker, will go straighter across. And then all we do then, I'll do it without the hoover on so it's a bit less noisy, and show you. And all I'm doing is rubbing down to the edge of the tape, so then it should bring out the line. And then once that's done, take the tape off, and you can see the edge. And then all we do then is swap the tape over to do the top line. And it's as easy as that. And once I've roughly got it in the sways line there, what I'll do is rehang the door and then follow the sways line onto the door to make sure that this is level with the one on the door, same as with the one on the top. We'll follow that through. And that's it. Sweet. Right, whilst the filler's going off, because it's quite cold and it's going to take a while, I'm going to refit the boot and see what we can do about the edges. But first of all, I've rust killed all these edges, and what we have to do is, with water, which I think is very strange, we have to neutralise the rust killer. So we use an old Scotch pad, spray with some water, and then go over it. And apparently, it neutralises it. And that's it. Right, now that my cameraman has now sorted himself out with batteries. Right, that was nice and easy, because obviously they're fiberglass and carbon fibre. I can actually fit this myself without asking Paul. So all I've got to do is, this gap here is away, but it's the boot, not the quarter panel. So I'm going to have to add some to the boot to get this gap nice and straight. So we'll do that once the boot's back off, and then I'll fit it back on to make sure that it's all right. So I'm just going to fill this and then get back on with the quarter panel. Oh, I'll just go over this with a bit of 80, and then we'll close the boot, or should I say, put the rubber on and then close the boot and see how it fits. Right, let's get the rubber on. Can't beat a new rubber. Be good if you can get these in the pub toilet, wouldn't it? Instead of waiting for weeks for them to be delivered. Right, rubber's on. Moment of truth. Does it fit? Not bad for an old one.
Right, and that's it for this video. Keith's done all the work. Let me just, hang on a minute. I
Can't believe you just done that.
just need it to look like I'm a bit filler dusty for the outro. Right, cut. So that's it for this video. It's mainly been the Keefy show with him doing all the work here. I have been busy up at the top, honestly. I know what you're thinking. Looks like a lot of filler work he's putting on, but 95% goes onto the floor.
And in the Hoover.
On us, in the Hoover, up our noses. No, you were wearing a mask,
yeah.
So you're all right. But yeah, he's done the side, so that's ready for primer in. He's done the rear quarters, so it meets that nicely fitting boot.
Yeah.
And that's it. So yeah, all good. So hopefully Keith's going to now get on with the other side. We'll be ready for priming real soon. So while Keith's down the bottom, busy doing all the body work, I'm up here cleaning up the parts, getting them ready to put on the car once he's back. So I've shot blasted the lower arms, the engine cradle, stuff like that, ready for him to paint. And the next thing we've got to do are the Webbers. So these are the original carbs off that engine, so I'm hoping they're jetted right and it's just going to run fine, but look at the state of them. They've been sat here in a box for a while, but I just don't know how long since this thing last run. Now carbs, if you let them go dry, the rubber seals inside go porous and they break, and we don't want any fuel leaking in our freshly rebuilt Mark 1, because let's face it, fuel in an engine bay, that's the end of the Mark 1. So I bought this a couple of years ago, never used it yet. It's a sonic bath. So what the sonic bath does, it puts, I suppose you can call them like radio waves, or it's sonic vibrations. So I can't get into the little ports in this carb to clean it out. So what that does is the fluid, the water goes into those little spaces, shakes around nicely, loosens up our dirt. So I think what we're going to do to start with is take one carb off and just stick it in as it is, built up, and then see what the difference is just off an initial clean. So let's whip this carb off and get it into that bath. Right, well that was easy enough. Let's fill that up, dunk it in and see what the difference is. Right, we've got to fill this up. There's the deionized water. Enough so it covers the carb completely. So, pour this in. So then once we've got the deionized water in, we've got our secret sauce. Now, I Googled carburetor cleaning, and apparently white vinegar is the best stuff. It's about half. We'll find out. That smells. And then we've got to have 1 drop of fairy liquid. Let's hope this doesn't explode. So give that a little stir after our explosion. Let's pop the carb in. Lucky that didn't go in the eye. Right, lid on. And let's see. Max power. Right, so maximum time on that is 30 minutes. Let's go and have a coffee, see what happens. So I'll just sneak the lid off on this, and you can see how gross the water is already in here. It's doing its job real well. You can actually see the ripples on the top of the water, and that's the pulses inside, shaking all that crud out and hopefully getting our carb clean. Right, so we'll leave that going for a bit. Keith's just rang me, wants Anne with something, so let's go and see how he's getting on. Ready? 3, 2, 1. What? I'm sleeping up there.
You've just nearly given me a bloody heart attack, mate.
No, seriously, what's up?
She's all done.
Is it?
Yeah, ready to go in the booth.
Awesome. Sweet. Hang on a minute. Let me get that pat on the back. Well done. Well done. Eh? Right, let's get it in.
Sorted.
Push, mush.
Mush push.
All right? Yep. Meow. Whoa. Awesome. Let's get some paint on this bad boy. So I'm back up here from helping Keith push the car in, and the carb's still going. So I'll show you these. Basically, the lad bought 2 Weber rebuild kits. It's just seals and gaskets. I think we've got a needle valve and a filter in there as well. So yeah, as soon as it's finished cleaning, we'll strip it apart, probably clean a few more bits internally, and then fit this kit. So we're just waiting for the ding for the carb to finish. There we go, and it's done. Right, let's get it out. Yeah. Yeah, that's looking good. Quite impressed with that. I say that's only one pass through the machine. So I'll strip it all down again, put it back in and give it a proper clean. And then we'll get our seals and build it back up. Sound. So I think the first thing we're going to take off is this top section. In here is the float chamber where all the fuel sits. So let's unscrew this first and then take these screws out. So this in here is the float chamber. So it fills up with fuel. So fuel goes in there past the needle valve and fills up with fuel. So as the fuel level rises, those floats lift and the needle shuts off the fuel coming in. Right, let's strip it down. In here, which is loose, brilliant, there should be a little filter to filter out the fuel. Let's have a look at the condition of that. There we go. Ooh, nice. So this little pin pulls out, he says. There we go. And then the floats come off. And then there is our little needle valve. And I'm sure in the kit we got a new one of those, so we'll change that. You can see the ends where eventually, where that needle goes up, there's a little pinhole in there, goes up, just blocks the pinhole off and stops the fuel coming in. So yeah, we'll change that. So next up is the jets. So we've got our idle jets and main jets. Now, some people don't know, well, I expect most of you lot will know watching this. The idle jets actually fuel the car from 0 to 3,000 revs. After 3,000 revs, the main jets come in. So if you've got a car with Webers on and it's sort of like slow, like up to 3,000, then goes like stink, you know the idle jets are too small, too big, you know, it's flooding it. Or same opposite, if it goes like stink and then at 3,000 revs, it dies and it's struggling, that's your main jets that are wrong. So yeah, here's the little jet here, just sits in there. And it should have a number on it. Yeah, number 8, that is. So yeah, that's the idle jet. So the tiny little hole right at the end, that's where the fuel comes out. And you only need a tiny piece of dirt in there to just block it up. So we'll make sure we get the airline and blow through that. And then the next one is the main jet, which has come undone, which is nice. Tiny little hole which is actually blocked up, so I'll have to get a little paper clip. Oh no, I've just unblocked it. So get a little paper clip in there. So hopefully that should pull out. There we go, that's our main jet, which is number 105. But oh, another one to just point out in here, hopefully, is pump jets. So when the car's cruising along, and then you snap the throttle, you're actually opening the butterfly up, allowing lots of air to go in, but there's no fuel because the engine's not revving enough to suck the fuel in. So you have a little pump jet, which is in here, and all that does is on that initial pump of the throttle, when you snap it open, just squirts in that extra bit of fuel to kickstart the engine and get it revving up nice. And that is the tiniest hole of all they are. So let's see if we can get a close-up. Right, I'll carry on stripping these and then we'll give it another run through the sonic cleaner, and then hopefully it will look, well, not good as new because they're about 20 years old, but they'll look better than what they did and they ain't gonna leak fuel. Well, touch wood. Right, see you in a bit. And there we go, folks, one rebuilt Weber. So it's not going to look brand new because at the end of the day, it's like 20 years old, but it looks a million times better than when we started. Pretty glad I bought that machine, to be honest. A lot of the seals broke when I was undoing the screws, so it was a good job we had that kit to replace them all. So I think the 2-month build is out the window. We've only got a couple of days left and we've not even painted it. But we're under budget, so that's all good. So you can tell Keith's in his primer gear. What are we doing today, Keith? Right, sound. Well, let's get cracking. Right, so we're starting with the etch, Keith. Why are we putting etch on this car?
Right, some people do, some people don't. I do because etch obviously keys to the metal, and we've got metal filler.
Yeah, all different surfaces, isn't it? So for people who don't know much about bodywork like me, it's like a super glue.
Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah.
Because we've got like some metal surfaces that have been shot blasted, so that's rough, and then some that's been sanded.
Yeah.
And then we've got filler, stopper, there's loads of different surfaces. We want this 2-pack I-build primer that's going on after to super stick to that body.
Stick to everything, yeah. So I'll just give it one light coat of etch, and then that keys everything.
Yeah.
And then I put the 2-pack primer, which is a filler primer.
Yeah.
And that obviously fills all the discrepancy bits and pieces that I've accidentally missed. Goes in every nook and cranny. Yeah.
So how's that filler primer mixed?
It's some are 5 to 1, some are 4 to 1. The one that we're using is 5 to 1.
Yeah, so it's like 5 parts of the paint.
Yeah, to 1 part activator.
Yeah.
And so again, some people put thinners in it to thin it down, but I don't. I like to have it nice and thick and plenty to work with.
Yeah, so it goes on like porridge. It's super, super thick.
Bogey snot pie.
Yeah, but it is sandable. So when we flat it back, we don't want to go too far through this primer. So
no, so I put a guide coat on, which I use any paint that I've got left over. It doesn't matter. Some people use aerosol black. I just think, well, it's cheaper to use a bit of paint.
Yeah,
as long as it's a dark colour.
Yeah, so we've gone over it with a guide coat, And then when we flat it back, if there is a little dimple in the body, it stays in whatever colour we've got.
Stays whatever colour, yeah.
And then we can see it and we can go around and sort the little marks out.
Yeah.
And it's probably the worst, dustiest, horrible job. I mean, my fingerprints are missing now, I think, because of doing this. But it's Keith's favourite job, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's very therapeutic. Very therapeutic. I know it sounds stupid, but it's hard work, but flattening it down to smooth and then thinking that paint's going over it, it just gives you a buzz. And then get it outside, blow it all off.
Yeah, so to blow it off this time, I bought Keith a new toy. Instead of using the tiny airline, he can actually push it downwards and float over the top of the car. Look at that.
Yeah, it's like bloody Ghostbusters.
Loved doing that, didn't you? Surprised it didn't blow the car back.
Yes, it was good fun.
Right then, let's talk about the paint. So we always get our paint off Advanced Paints. It's in Chippenham, just down a bit from us. So Ainsley at Advanced Paints had to deal with about 3 million text messages off me trying to find the blue that was on this car originally. Now, if you go on Google, on Wikipedia and stuff like that, it says a blue, but it's not
it's the wrong one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not actually the right blue that was used on the car. So managed to track down a person that had sprayed the original car, and it's actually a pearlescent blue, but it's a super secret, so we can't tell you what blue it is. So all the paint, the high build, the etch,
yeah,
the 2-pack, we've got a base and solid, lacquer. All the paint was cheaper than 4 litres of paint for my beach buggy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Which is good. So it was just over 550 quid or whatever it was.
That's the thinners, activators, everything, isn't it?
All of it start to finish, so you can't really moan at that.
No.
And to sweeten the deal, we've got some free mugs, which is always good. I love free stuff. So you might be wondering why we've got 2 tins of paint here. So let's pop the top off and show you why. So there you go. We got 1 pearlescent and 1 solid colour. Now, this is what drove Ainsley nuts at Advanced Paints, because it's hard to match a solid with a pill. So if you chip a pearlescent paint, it's hard to blow it in, isn't it? And then you've got to lacquer it. So I don't really want to lacquer underneath. It's just for cost, as well as it's easier to touch in a solid colour that you don't have to lacquer. So in the engine bay, underneath, inside the car is going to be solid.
Yeah.
And he's matched it well as well, so you can't really tell. And then all the outside panels where we want it to look mint is going to be in the pill and lacquered.
Yeah, so I'm going to give it a coat of wet on wet primer first on the inside and in the engine bay.
Yeah,
and then put the 2-pack over the top of that.
So wet on wet primer is basically, you put it on.
Yeah, just 1 coat.
I mean, it's not wet when you put the other coat over the top, even though they say wet on wet, but you put it on, you don't touch it, and then within an hour, innit?
Yeah, it's ½ hour to an hour.
Yeah, an hour, you can put the solid colour straight over the top. So engine bay underneath, inside is going to be wet on wet. They've mixed up a blue primer as well, so we can put the colour straight over. It's not going over white, so it's going to cover well as well.
Just saves me hassle.
Yeah. So let's get changed and get started painting. So first up, before we do the wet on wet, is
stone chip.
Yep, so we've got to mask it all out. We want stone chip like halfway up the sill, don't we? Wow, underneath.
Underneath the sill.
Yeah.
Then wheel arches, all the floor.
Yeah.
Everything that underneath is going to be stone chipped.
So then that gives us protection against stones, because basically instead of a stone hitting a metal body where it will chip,
yeah,
it hits that and it's like rubberized, so it just bounces off and it just protects it. And then next up is our wet on wet primer. So you can see it's not like the same blue as what it's going to be, but it's at least a start of like a baby blue. So the wet on wet is going inside the car, in the engine bay,
in the boot.
In the boot, but we don't need to put it over the stone chip, do we? Underneath.
No, no.
So next up is the blue that Ainsley mixed up for us, being a real good match to the pearlescent blue that we're putting over the outside. It's going on well. Really, really like this colour. Even though I wanted the Mark 1 grey and...
I wanted British Racing Green.
Yeah, wanted British Racing Green. Just look at that colour. That is proper nice. And it's a good finish too at the end of it. So, how many coats?
2 coats.
So it was just 2 coats. over that and all inside. And didn't Keith do a good job? I'll give him a pat on the back once he's out of his mucky suit. Okay, the Escort's back up now in the main workshop, ready for the next stage of work. Obviously, Keith painting the outside, he can't do it while it's still on the spit, so we've had to take it off. So the only way you can paint the outside now is if it's on its wheels. So the next stage is engine in, suspension, rear diff, get it rolling so we can push it back up in the booth, get it painted. So a lot of work ahead of us. Let's get cracking. Definitely much easier going in from underneath. Ooh, engine's in. And there we go, folks. It's on its wheels. Exciting times. We're ready to put some paint on the outside. So we've got the engine in, we've got the fuel system in with the tank, we've got all the brakes in and the steering. It's ready to roll down the body shop and into the booth for Keith to paint. So unfortunately, we've run out of time. Today is day 60, so our 2-month build is over. But what a difference 60 working days can make on a Mark 1 Escort. I mean, going back to when we first had it, look at the state of that. Holes everywhere, pretty much every panel patch repaired, rotten to what we have today. It's a different car, not only for the fact that pretty much every panel is different, but it's just a solid Mark 1 Escort. Can't wait to get this on the road. So even though the outside of the body is pretty much ready, it's still like a massive process to go to just get it totally ready for the paint to go on, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got to get it back down the body shop, ready for Keith to start working his magic on it. So what are you going to do first, Keith?
Right, first thing is to mask it up.
Again,
And then DA it with the interface pad with 500.
Yeah.
Soft pad 500 in where I can't get with the DA. Blow it off and then degrease it. Seam seal just some of the edges where it needs sealing. Unmask it.
Unmask it again, yeah.
Yep. And then blow it off inside and out and then get it into the booth.
Yeah, get it back into the booth, which we've then got to
Remask it.
Mask it up again, which is a pain. There's so much waste when you're spraying a car, it's unreal. But yeah, mask it up again, all the little holes so the paint don't get into the inside, all round, and then it's ready for our paint, isn't it? So looking at the booth, we've changed the filters, cleaned it all out, redid the tacky booth coating on the wall, so if you ever come down here, don't lean on the walls inside the booth because it's
sticky.
We basically cover it all inside the booth. It's like a glue, so any dust, dirt floating about in the area, if it hits the wall, it gets stuck to it. So that's what when we first started, I didn't know about it, didn't I?
Yeah, leant against it. What's that?
So next, we've got to tacky off the car.
Well, I'm going to give it a quick blow off,
Yeah,
degrease it again,
yeah,
and then tack it off and get the blue on.
yeah. So the blue is coming out of the pot. Have a look at that. That is pearlescent, super secret blue.
Yes. Can't say.
Looking very nice as it goes in there. So mixing it up, getting it ready. We're going to probably go through what, 4 litres of this stuff.
Yeah, so 50-50 with thinners, so that'll make 8 litres.
8 litres, yeah.
So it should be about 4 or 5 litres mixed.
We'll have a bit left for when I muck up. And
No, you're not going to muck up, mate.
so Keith's all happy now. He's got paint in his gun and he's ready to put it on this Escort. So the first coat that's going to go on is going to be a super, super light coat, just like finely dusting the paint on to give it a bit of texture, so the second, third and fourth coat is going to stick mint. So it's going on the body, the wings and the doors, ready for that second thicker coat. So the second coat starts going on. He can now start bladdering on this paint. Look at it, it's now a much deeper blue. It's such a nice colour.
Yeah, it's a beautiful blue though.
Yeah, it's proper nice. It's like darker than what you'd think, you know, but
Yeah, and a bit of purple in it as well, so it's going to really shine.
but hopefully out in the sun it's going to be, you know, lighter blue. Well, it'd be a mixture, wouldn't it, of all the colours will pop out, which is good. Right, our base coat is on. Keith has done a mint job as always. If you look closely, we've had to scotch it slightly because some base coats you have to put the base on, then you've got a set time that you have to put the lacquer on over the top. So some are 20 minutes, some are 4 hours, but because we did it late last night, we've had to scotch it again just so this white and this lacquer is going to stick to the base coat. So the next step we've got to do in the car is put our stripes on. Now, looking at the stripes on, you know, you go on Google and look at images. When you look at the front corner, you've got the grille, and then on some, the stripe is much lower. Now, it's probably supposed to be like that, but just, I don't really like that looking that much lower. I want it slightly higher up. So I think what we're going to do is off this top swage line, is put a bit of 2-inch tape, and then we're going to go from under that 2-inch tape and start our line. The other thing, we're not going to continue the line through the bubble arches. Again, because on some, when you look down the side of the car, it makes that line look wobbly, it makes it look like you've put it on wrong. So I think we're going to do the lines up to the arch, stop, and then continue after. But before we start everything, we've got to put our wings on, put our doors on, and our boot. So everything's there. We're going to get these lines spot on. So let's get cracking. Right then, where do we start lining this out? So again, I don't want a thin stripe, I don't want a too low stripe. I want one going across the middle of that, but slightly in line with the grille so it looks good. So I think the way we're going to start is drop some 2-inch tape all the way across that upper swage line. And then under that tape, we've got some 3mm lining tape. We're going to butt real close up to that masking tape. Next, we're going to do the outer white stripe 9mm. So we've got some 9mm lining tape. We're going to put that on underneath that 3mm tape. Then another 9mm under that first 9mm tape. And then getting the width right, we're going to drop another piece of 2-inch tape all along the lower swage. It looked like it would be too big of a stripe, so we're going to beef it up. We're going to bring another 2-inch piece of tape above that first piece. And then we've got our stripe. Curving it round at the edges, I'm going to drop a piece of tape level with the wing and then basically do it by hand, curve it round, make our nice little end pieces. And that's basically it. You know, it's a long job. It's took about 4 hours, but hopefully it's going to look all right. We'll see when the paint goes on it. So the paint, the white paint, we've got to mask up all this blue. So the white will try and search anywhere it can, and especially on like a deep blue like this is, we don't want any of this white getting on that blue, so we've got to mask it all up all over again, which is a complete pain, ready to spray the white. So the white we've got is a Ford white, nice, very bright white, should contrast with the blue real good. So Keith mixes it up the same as the blue base coat and then strains it, pours it into the gun, and he's ready to start painting. So with the white, again, he's going to put a very, very light dust coat over the blue just to get the next couple of coats to grip. But even though Keefy no runs, we don't want to get a run in this white because we can't flat it out, because at the end of the day, we'd be flatting the blue and we don't want to touch that blue at all. So he's being real careful here. He's just light coats, one over the other, one over the other. So instead of 3, 4 coats, he's putting about 5, 6 coats on it. But that's the white done. Looks mint. Can't wait to get this lacquer. So the lacquer, here he is. He's pouring it out nice. I love watching this stuff when he's mixing it together. Just looks mint, doesn't it? So it's the first time we use this Capici lacquer. They'll probably phone me and tell me I've said it wrong. So Keith's a bit worried, to be honest. He's been suffering the last few days with a real bad cold. I don't know if you could hear it at the start of the video. So bless him, he's under the weather, but he's here. It's Friday night, 4:30, and he's still working. So mix the lacquer up, get it in the gun. This is the moment of truth. So again, we're going to dust the lacquer on first of all, get a gripper coat on there. So on the next coat, he can start banging it on hard. He's just going all around the car, nice and gently, just missed in that perfect light coat over that beautiful body now, and over the wings and over the doors, just to get the next coat to stick. So this is it. This is the moment of truth. Coat number 2, so we only put 3 coats of lacquer on. So coat number 2 is going on. Wow, this lacquer is actually good. I love it when you can see it's going on that. Wow, we can already see the mirror of the gun in the reflection of the lacquer. Wow, that looks super shiny straight out the gun. I just hope it dries that good, because at the moment that is looking proper mint. So he's putting it on the sides now. Look at him go. Keefy no runs, enjoying himself, doing his happy little dance. So even though it's Friday, it's getting late, he ain't rushing this job for no one. If it's getting done, it's getting done right. Just look at that finish Keefy's getting. I'm getting excited now. Just look at that car. What a beautiful Escort. I can't wait to get back into work on Monday and get stuck into putting it back together. Job's a good one. And there we go, folks. We're back up in the main workshop. What do you think of it? I think she's looking mint. Leave your thoughts in the comments on, you know, if you like the stripe, colour, everything else, and let me know what you think. So it's been back up here a day. I've got lights in, the engine loom, a few other bits and bobs, got the dash top on and the clocks in. We're starting to get through it now. I think the next video will be the very last video, unfortunately. Me and Keith have absolutely loved doing this car. It's going to be a shame to sell it, which I probably won't, to be honest. Okay then, let's get cracking on this interior. So I forgot to set up the camera. I wanted to capture Austin's face when he realised there was a cage in the car and it weren't removable. So first thing he does is he's stuck sound deadening on the inside of the roof skin. He builds the roof lining up, puts the bows in, they're longer on the front, shorter on the back. And now the fun begins. He's got to clamber around that cage and get it dead level and tuck it down the side of the cage, which was fun. Now I used to, well, I say I used to, I had to go once for fitting a roof lining. It came with these little clips that you pulled the roof lining down and over the edge of where the windows go, and you push these clips in. But when they clip in, they rip the roof lining slightly because there's little teeth in them to hold the roof lining. Now Austin always says, he glues them. He always glues them by hand. It takes longer now, but the roof lining will last longer because it hasn't got these little clips piercing holes in the lining. He's doing a good job. He's got it in there. Doesn't that look mint? Next up for Austin to do is the carpet inside. Now Keith spent ages getting that floor pan silky smooth, but unfortunately I like cars with carpet in. It gets rid of the road noise and it just makes it feel better inside the car. Now this thing probably ain't going to do a rally in its life, so I want it to be nice and comfortable to drive. So we're going to put carpet over the tunnel, all over the floor, and the back seat base all the way up to the parcel shelf where it meets the roof lining. It's just going to make it look better with that nice contrast of black carpet with bits of blue poking through it. Austin's finished, he's done a great job, he's totally knackered, but it was well worth him doing it. Now that that's done, me and Keith can really crack on, so we're going to get the glass in. We've got to be careful not to scratch the car. So front, back and sides have gone in. Then we're going to fit the exhaust. I've had the exhaust vapor blasted and we've painted it in the high temperature black paint, and also the rest of the exhaust system. As well as the exhaust manifold being vapor blasted, I also got the Weber carbs done. It just looks nicer. My friend Matt does the vapor blasting and he's done a great job, and they look like brand new. They sit in that engine bay, look amazing. Next, we got a couple more bits of trim. I mocked these up before Keith painted the car, so they're all going to go in perfect. So rear quarter covers and the kick panel covers are in, and I think now's the time to start it up before we fit anything else on it. Right, so I've cranked it for a while with the coil lead off, so we've got no spark. That's got the oil round the engine, and I can smell fuel now, so we've got fuel in the carb, so ready to start it. I need a helper. I need Keith. Where's my phone? Give him a ring. Keith!
You called, oh mighty one?
Yeah, ready to start. So, oh, let me put the coil lead back on.
Moment of truth.
Yeah, definitely. Whew, stinks of fuel.
Yeah.
So we got fuel. Coil's on, oil's in, coolant's all right. Fuel's up there. Right, can you do the honours and crank it?
Yeah.
Right, while I work the throttle.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah. Hang on, something ain't right there. I definitely got the coil lead on. Oh, hang on.
She tried to go.
Let me just check the firing order. I don't know if these are backwards. Come on, Google.
It's just an old car, isn't it?
What is the firing order of a 1600 crossflow? Okay, take two. It's not 1342, it's 1243 on this one. So, right, let's have another go. Ready?
Yep.
Go on in. Turn it off.
I think that's a high five moment.
High five.
Get
yes.
in. Brilliant.
Needs a bit of tuning. This wires number 2 spitting fuel back through the carb. So I wonder if the tappets are too tight. It starts. Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, that's all right. I can tune that. I didn't want to put the wings on until we knew it started, just in case, you know, the engine builders did something wrong and we had to drop it out. But
she's alive.
yeah, right. Wings are going on, doors, boot bonnet. Let's crack on and get it finished.
Let's get her built.
Woo!
Okay, Kincaid. Watch your fingers.
Nearly fell off. There we go, a permanent reminder of how crap the Mark 1 was when we first got it. Right, do you want to see it?
Yes.
Let's go. And there we go, folks. What do you reckon of the finished Mark 1? I'm thinking it's looking sweet.
It's beautiful. Absolutely stunning, mate.
It just looks like, you know, the Mark 2s are good, but the Mark, it just looks like a muscle car, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's just fat, wide.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's such a nice car to look at.
That's why it's my favourite car.
Yeah, yeah, I can see what you mean now. I mean, it's the first Mark 1 I've had. And yeah, I don't know if I'll sell it, to be honest. We'll see. Right, I've got my list of stuff, as always. So originally, I haggled the bloke down a bit and I got the car and all the bits for £16,000, which wasn't bad. Well, apart from the car was rotten. I spent 2,200 on extra panels. We've got another 700 on paint. We've got 600 for the interior. And then we've got other stuff I had to buy, like the wings, chin spoiler, spotlights, and the battery. That was 500 quid. So pretty much, well, give or take a couple of quid, we did it for our 20 grand budget. I got a Mark 1 Escort for 20 grand.
Yeah.
Plus labour and a couple of months of hard work and
a bit of
sleepless
blood.
nights. Yeah, yeah. The amount of cuts on my hands is unbelievable. Okay, with every build, there's always the people in the background that help us out loads. And I just want to say thank you to them. So, Austin from Waboo, thank you for coming over at 10 o'clock in the morning and working all day until 11:15 at night, fitting that interior. Cheers, mate, appreciate that. Also, Anthony at the Classic Panel Company, thank you for supplying me panels that were cheaper than actually going direct to Magnum, which was amazing, and it was all next day delivery. Cheers for that. Ainsley at Advanced Paints, you colour matched the solid with the pearl for me, which was, I don't know how many spray outs, but you got it perfect. Thank you for doing that and supplying us cheap but really good paint. Also, Capsy, thank you very much, you've got great lacquer. And last but not least, my friend Matt, I've known him 20 years. He's got a vapor blast company, so MB Engineering and Vapor Blasting, for blasting my Webers and the exhaust manifold, doing a mint job. He corks them all up, so hardly any of the blast goes inside. You still have to clean them a bit, but look at those, they look mint. So cheers guys, thank you. So that's all the good bits out the way. Now for the bad bits, and a really, really bad bit, unfortunately.
Not our fault.
No, not our fault. So with any project you do, you always get teething problems. Some are worse than others.
Yeah, this is a really sore, bad tooth, isn't it?
This is like you've got a broken jaw with this problem.
Yeah.
So we'll come to that in a sec. So first things I've got to do in the future, the front screen, the glass, it's terrible. So we're going to change that in the future. The indicator stalk, when you turn left and you put the stalk up, you let go and it just flops back down to the middle.
Yeah.
So we need to
gone.
find an indicator stalk from somewhere. And the heater fan inside, when you turn it on, it almost sounds like it's going to take off, leave the car and just fly up into the sky. It's like a hurricane coming off.
Yeah.
So I need to drop that out and grease that. But then we get to the major problem, which is why you notice we're not now road testing it and getting some drive-in shots and all that lot, enjoying the car. Instead, it's sat here stationary. So let me take you through that. Cylinder number 2 is the issue. We've got, when it's running, fuel firing back out the inlet of the carb on that cylinder, which is no good. If we put the balance tester, it's physically impossible to get a singular carb out of balance, but we've got less suction on cylinder 2 to what we have on cylinder 1, and that's no good. Going over to the other side of the engine, we whipped out the plugs. You can see plug number 2 is clearly washed. It's a lot cleaner. That's how it is when I took it out. All the others are sitting up nice, which means there's good combustion, whereas number 2 is nice and clean. And then we get to doing the compression tests. So every other cylinder is 7 bar or above, but then we get to cylinder number 2 and it's only on 4.5 bar. So we're 50 PSI pretty much down on that one cylinder. Then if that's not bad enough, we move to, after a minute of it running, the coolant pipes get so hard because the coolant system's pressurizing, It then bypasses the cap, the relief valve in the cap, and pees all over the floor, which is no good. And also with every engine you get condensation in the exhaust, but with this you get half a litre of water pouring out every exhaust joint. So in there is definitely a problem. It's either a cracked head, the egg gasket's on like backwards or upside down. You know, it needs coming back apart, which is brilliant news. Our £1,900 receipt we've got from the engine builders, you know.
It's no good.
Let's give them a round of applause. Well done. Well done.
Brilliant.
So, in this video, we're going to start ripping this engine apart. So let's get cracking. One cylinder head. Got it off. I ain't looked at the pistons yet, I don't want to start crying. All the valves look seated, to be fair. They don't look too bad. I think what I'll do first is just get a bit of water, squirt it round these valves here, see if it starts hammering out the inlet ports. So where's my syringe? So cylinder 1 is all good. Let's have a go at cylinder 2. Yeah, as soon as I'm putting water on the inlet valve, it's going past it, back out the port. So either that valve hasn't been lapped in properly, or the seat's knackered. So let's just test all the others just to be sure, and then we'll whip out that valve. Wow, I guess it's lucky I checked the rest, eh? So I flipped it upside down and I poured water in every one of the inlet ports and filled them dead to the brim. So cylinder 3, even though it's leaking a little bit, stayed pretty full. Cylinder 2 and cylinder 4 is pretty much empty. Look at my poorly little head having a little cry. So me saying, well, I'll just whip them out. I think I'll flip it back over, check the exhaust ones as well. So there we go, that's all of them tested. So the only valves that are any good, inlet on cylinder 3 and the exhaust on cylinder 4. All the rest are leaking. So that'll give us our low compression. And I mean with number 2 especially, as soon as I'm pouring it in, it's pouring out past the valve. That's why compression is coming back up through that carb, squirting fuel all over the inner wing. So let's whip every valve out and seat them in properly. Okay, so I got the valves out. Now bearing in mind this engine has run for a minute, maybe 2 minutes maximum, because I had to turn it off because of the fuel hammering down the inner wing. Do these, I mean look at that, do these look like valves that have been lapped in to an engine that has only run for a minute? There is absolutely no way. Also, apparently, these exhaust valve seats were changed and they've got rust on them. You know what I mean? I just phoned the engine builders and they said 1,000,000% that they lapped these valves in and changed those exhaust seats. And I said, what about the rust? There's rust on the seats. And he said, no, that's just from where it's been sat since he done it, which was December. So it's lucky we built this car quickly, because say if the lad I bought it off had carried on with it, he might have been 2-3 years down the line doing what we've done, put the engine in, it runs rough, and then they've got the excuse it's been sat, when really they haven't done the job in the first place. £1,900 bill. I think it's time for a trip to the engine builders. Well, that was the biggest waste of time and fuel, I think, known to man. Went there, showed them. No, they reckon them guides are new and the valves were recently lapped in, but they did offer to re-lap me valves in, which I said no, of course. I mean, if their lapping job only lasts a minute, I'm not going to leave it with them to do it. So I'll show you how to lap one valve in. Most of you know anyway. The usual way is with one of these. So you stick it on the valve, and there's a bit of manual labour turning that valve forwards and backwards using the cutting compound, but I hate these, so they're going to go. And instead got our speed lapper. So what you do is you hold that goes forwards and backwards, you let it go, let it go, let it go, and that turns your valve, creates a nice seat all around the valve, but obviously it's a lot quicker with that one. Here's your coarse and fine cutting compound. So start with the coarse, finish with the fine, and then I'll do an inlet valve and I'll put it next to one of their supposedly lapped in inlet valves, and we'll have a look at the difference, shall we? Right, let's get cracking. So lapping in the valves, the first thing we've got to do is clean up this dirty valve. So lightly, and I mean very lightly, give it a brush, get all the carbon off, get it nice and clean. Then using the coarse side of the grinding paste, just apply a little bit to the tip of the valve, and then you're ready to go. And then it's just a case of using the lapping tool, the speed lapper, go in for about 5 seconds, maybe less. Then you wipe that off, switch round to the fine side, give that a go for about 5 seconds, again wipe it off, give it another go, and then basically you just check the valve seat, make sure there's a nice clean lapped ring around the seat, and that's about it. Such an easy job. And there we go. Each valve takes about 5 minutes, 8 valves. It's not an hard job to do, you know. It boils my piss that somebody says they're going to do something and they either do such a bad job that it's not even worth doing in the first place, or they just don't do it at all. So if we compare a cleaned and lapped valve to a valve that has only done a minute's worth of work, there you go. Look at the difference there. Same on the inlet side, clean inlet valve that's only done a minute's worth of work. You can just see the difference. And then when you get into the cylinder head, it's definitely had an unleaded conversion because it's had these hardened valve seats pressed in. But that's a nice cleaned lap seat compared to that, which was apparently done. So there we go, I've got 2 valves left, 10 minutes work. I'll bang it back together and then we'll pour some water in, give it a test and see if it's worked. Sound? Okay, that's the last one done. All the valves are in. Let's give it a test, shall we? Okay, so looking at the head, we got a tiny, tiny drip coming past the inlet valve. So I'll probably just whip that out and have another go at lapping it in and testing it again. But hopefully everything is much better. I mean, it can't be any worse, can it? Let's face it. So what's the day today? It's Thursday today. Tuesday, I've got a rolling road day booked with the Escort. So hopefully get it back on, all will be good. The head is back on. All I've got to do is set the tappets and then we'll see if it runs. So it's Monday today. Tomorrow is our rolling road day, so fingers crossed it's going to run. So it's a 4-cylinder engine. It's easy to do tappets. Pistons 1 and 4 come up together and pistons 2 and 3 come up together. So basically, if we get piston 1 rocking, so we know that piston is at the top because the exhaust valve's just shutting and the inlet's trying to open. A mirror image of that, piston 4 is on the power stroke. So both of these valves are fully shut, ready for that spark to come in. So we can adjust the tappets on that cylinder. Then all we got to do is turn it over so cylinder 4 is rocking. Then we can do the tappets on cylinder 1. It's that easy. Same on 2 and 3. 2 rocking, we do 3. 3 rocking, we do 2. Simple as that. So let's get these tappets adjusted. Get the top back on. Fingers crossed it's going to run. Also, while I remember, on Friday, I lifted the engine up, dropped the sump off and checked the bottom end. There's no swarf in the oil or in the strainer. Everything looks tight, so fingers crossed it's just going to be okay. I'm not going to start stripping stuff down if it doesn't need it. Also, me and Keith, we wanted to work out the compression ratio of the engine because it seemed a bit low on the compression test. So to do this, we had to measure the stroke of the cylinder and the combustion chamber. So the main stroke is 78 millimeters long and 83 millimeters in diameter. And then the combustion chamber is 8 mil by 83 millimeters diameter. So basically, working it out, me and Keith are dumb as anything, so we had to watch a load of videos on how to do it. The combustion chamber goes into that stroke 9.75 times. So that means we've got a ratio of 9.75 to 1, which is good. 10 is very good. 11 is probably the top before you start getting detonation. So we know that the engine's good now. Let's get the tappets done, get the rocker cover back on, do a compression test, which hopefully it's going to be more than the 65 PSI it was. Then we're going to go for our final start. Right, we're here, we're ready. The moment of truth.
I've got everything crossed.
Yeah. Now I took the carbs off and I didn't tip them upside down, so they should be full of fuel still.
Yeah.
Let's give it like 4 pumps of throttle. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're on. Right. Flick it over.
Ready?
Yep.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And there we go. It's funny how there's no fuel there at all now. That's good. And funnily enough, even though those valves were lapped in, definitely lapped in, weren't they?
1000% they were lapped in. I've done it myself, he said.
1000% lapped in. All I've done is lap in the valves and we've got no fuel hammering down that inner wing anymore, and it ticks over.
It sounds sweet, mate.
Yeah, it's good.
It does sound good.
We need to do kind of a bedding in before I go on the rolling road, so I'll probably just drive it up and down the industrial estate a few times. I need to just make sure like the prop's not going to fall off and
Gearbox falls out.
Yeah, leaf spring bolts. So we're going to get it off the ramp and just give it a gentle drive down the estate.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's go. Woohoo.
Thought you were going for a gentle spin, right?
Wow. It was, well, the last bit was anyway. You've got to give it some, haven't you? Like, you know, it's bedding it in, making sure it'll be all right for tomorrow.
It sounded sweet, mate.
Yeah, it spins the wheel so easy, like.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I was thinking, the bonnet's carbon fibre.
Yes.
So when we're doing the rolling road tomorrow, he's going to have a whacking great big fan in front of the thing. So when the bonnet's up,
whip it off.
Yeah, be easier just taking it off and then it's out of the way then.
Yeah, and it saves getting damaged or whatever.
Yeah. Right, bonnet off then, and we'll
Okay.
get it loaded, ready for the morning.
Brill, can't wait.
Sound.
So there it is, we're here. What do you reckon, Keith?
Wonderful.
So, let me put the camera on the top. There we go. What do you reckon it's going to be? So, a standard 1600 cross flows, 75 horsepower. Yeah. It's now a 1720 with a Kent cam.
Yeah.
And twin 40s. So, I'm going to aim for 120 horsepower.
I'm going to go all out around 150, mate.
150?
Yeah.
Don't think it's going to... What's that, 50, 60, 75 horsepower added?
Yeah.
No. We'll see. Let's get it done. All right.
Before Dave starts, he wants to give the engine a check over. So basically, he's going through balancing the carbs and he's setting up the idle mixture. He does this by winding the mixture screw out until it starts to flood the engine so the revs will drop. Then he winds it in until it picks up. He does this on all the cylinders and then that's the fuel set on idle. Then he's got his Krypton tuning machine. He's going to check the performance of each cylinder. So this machine is amazing. It will cut one cylinder out at a time and it looks at the rev drop. So if one cylinder cuts and it drops less revs, that means it's not performing perfectly. But look at his face, he's chuffed to bits with that. He says it's perfect. Right, let's get started on the dyno. So Dave wants to check how much fuel's going through the engine at each rev range. And this is where it's ace to have a dyno. He starts by going up through the gears slowly and then puts the car in fourth gear and builds up the speed until the engine is sat at 2000 revs. You can see this gauge here shows the vehicle speed. He then turns this little knob here and that puts a brake on the dyno so it will hold the speed in that exact position. He's now free to absolutely plant that throttle and check how much fuel's going into the engine at 2000 revs. So this little meter here is the main thing he's keeping an eye on. It's the fuel ratio meter and it's connected to a lambda probe that's in the exhaust of the Escort. 1.00 is a perfect fuel mixture for cruising, but we're on full acceleration. It needs to be a lot more fuel in it. So 0.8 or 0.9 is what it needs to be. If it goes into the ones, it's way too weak on fuel. So at 2000 revs, it's fine. At 3000 revs, it's okay too. It's 0.8 going into 0.9, but then he gets to 4000 revs and it goes over 1. He shuts it off immediately because if it goes too weak, it's going to damage the engine. Now, even though the fuel explodes inside the engine, it also acts as a coolant. If there's not enough fuel, the piston, the combustion chamber overheats, and that's when you get detonation. Fuel basically burning at the incorrect time. So looking at the jets, Dave said the original ones in the carbs were for a standard 1600, and that's why it wasn't putting enough fuel in. The early test showed it was only 68 horsepower. That's right, 68 brake horsepower at 4,000 revs, which is a lot less than even a standard 1600 is. So he took out the 105 jets and put larger 120 jets in, and also changed the original 30mm chokes to 33s, letting more air in to match the much bigger jets. So once that was all done, he did a couple more runs to make sure there's enough fuel going in, and it was perfect. So the next stage for Dave is running that engine in. So he asked me, is it new? And I said, yeah, new pistons, it's been bored out. So he said he's got to bed in the piston rings, which I didn't realize you had to do. So basically he puts it in fourth, and he goes from 20 mile an hour all the way up to sometimes 90 mile an hour, accelerating, letting off, accelerating, letting off. And what this does is when he accelerates, the piston rings spread and grip the bores and go up, and then when he lets off, they shrink back in and come back down. And apparently this is the best way to do it. So for the next hour, he was doing this, running the engine in, worrying time, because if it's gonna go bang or overheat, this is the time it's gonna do it. I did try recording a voiceover at the time, and this is how it went, and you can hardly hear what I'm saying.
So he's going to be doing this, believe it or not, for about an hour, he reckons, to bed this engine in. Already, he's checked the time in, he's checked the fuel in, so it was 2 weeks, over 4,000.
So yeah, went on for an hour, it's all bedded in, we got enough fuel going in, it's time to do the first power run. Jesus, that was loud. Okay, that's the first power run. Let's have a look at the chart. So you can see here, the white graph going up is the wheel horsepower. So that's the power at the wheels on the rollers. Then when he lets off at the top, you can see that little red shaded area. That's the drag through the gearbox and the diff being worked out. So it gives us our horsepower at the flywheel, which is 115, which is pretty rubbish, to be honest. Now looking at the graph, it starts off going up really nice, but then it gets to 3,000 and it flats off. You get an actual dip, then it rises again. So the jets in the carb, we know that idle jets do 0 to 3,000 revs, and the main jets do 3,000 revs to the maximum revs. So we got a problem still with the main jets. They're too weak, we need bigger ones. So Dave changes the main jets to 130s now and has a play with the timing. He's just advancing it slightly to see if he can get a lot more power top end. So we're ready for our second power run. Wow, what a difference 130 jets made on that power curve. It just kept climbing until it flattened off at about 5,500, 6,000 revs. So some idiot put E10 fuel in it, which is 95 octane, which was, yeah, me. Should have been super or even octane booster in there. We did loads more runs after, trying to adjust the timing, but we just had loads of detonation and pinking. Dave absolutely hates the new E10 fuel. It just needs nice super in there to get more power. So this is not the end of our power runs. We need more power out of this car. So we'll definitely be back to see Dave with the Escort. And that's it for this video. I just want to say a big thank you to Dave at MK Motorsport. We had a good day, didn't we?
Yeah, it's fantastic. My first one, and it was brilliant.
Don't think Keith realised how loud it gets, does it?
No,
it's
definitely not.
Even with the earphones on, you know, the earmuffs on,
yeah.
It's mega loud.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair play to Dave. He went through, changed the jets, the chokes, fuel lines, put better ones on. And we had a full day there rolling road in. 400 quid.
Yeah, he was so methodical, wasn't he? He went through everything.
Oh yeah, he wanted to make sure it was good.
Yeah.
And all the running in, I mean, that was an hour of his time.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was brilliant. So going forwards with this, Dave thinks the compression ratio is still a little bit too low. We need to get it 11 to 1 or 12 to 1 to start getting some real power out of this engine. So he thinks a piston change, instead of flat tops, just having valve pockets in the pistons, should get it up to about sort of 160 horsepower, which is
that's good for that little engine.
More than enough for this little car. Well, light car, it's not that little. So yeah, it's probably not the last you've seen of this Escort. I might do more bits to it and see if we can get more power. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for all the likes and subscribes.
Yeah, and all the comments. Absolutely love them.
And yeah, just keep subscribing. It's free to do and it helps us out loads. So from me, I shall say see you again, and from Keith,
see you on the next one.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! So what we've got to do is just put a few I'm going to mark the chassis leg onto the it's called bulkhead, right.
I'll take the bolts out first. Don't be so silly, come on.
Go.
Are we like, right?
So a f***ing yapping dog.
Cockerel. That's good. Ready for welding?
It's all ready for you, mate.
Right, let's get in. I thought you were going to pass me the mask. Right, take two.
Okay, hello. Turn the fan off. Alexa, off.
Good. Right, so that's it for so we'll do a pan of the front after. So that's it then. So that's it then from me. I'll say goodbye. No. So that's it. So that's it. No. So
this is going to be a good blooper, mate. Seriously.
Most difficult job of the day. Wrapping an extension leader.
it's got to go here anyway, and then we'll have to force it in at the top. You're on me here.
Yeah, what do we do about it?
Drop me bloody line. All right, ready?
Yeah. We'll do that now, Keith.
So 80% probably of the metalwork's done.
Yeah.
We've start again.
Lovely.
Big job that is.
Not done one before.
No, I've never done one. So yeah, so I'll let you start on the old rear panel.
2 panels.
Right. We now have our curve. You can tell it's curving because the sides are farting. Do that again. Get out. Professionals. work to do at the back, just where the lead work was.
And on comes the f***ing heater.
3, 2, 1, it's off. There we go. You knew it was going off.
No, I said quiet, you see.
Right.
Yeah,
So clamping it, we need to get right in that gutter and clamp. Nice.
I do apologise.
So, shut up. Hello and welcome back everybody to part 7 of our Restoration Roulette Mark 1 Escort build. I pointed there and it's over there.
yeah, it's on the table.
Yeah, it's on the table still. It's not just there.
No. Honest?
Yeah.
Right, do you need me? Because I'm going to go and have a poo.
No, go for it. Yeah, that's fine. Handbrake. Shit to take out, innit, really?
Cut. Donald, where's your trousers?
Right, what were we saying? I forgot.
I'm ready.
Come in.
Primer.
Yeah, don't want it to scratch my nice paint there.
Let me start again. Fucking. Okay, stop pulling him a sec.
Sorry.
Sorry, Dad.
The louder you scream, the faster we go. That was a weird one. So, a bit of a change of plan already. Oh, was that me? Smiley?
Yes.
Right, let's go. All right, Mush. Smells of a bit of gravy on the next train. Can't say it with the camera on, it's not PC correct.
Should have done that again. You hold it.
Are we on?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
No, I can't do that actually because I just shouted. Right, ready? Okay.
Did you just say again?
Fucking penis. Right, ready? This is where the chain breaks. Okay. Right. Welcome back everybody to part 10 of our restoration. It's 10 in it. Is it part 10? Yeah. Yeah, it's 10.
Are we filming?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So what I've done here is obviously de-aired it with a 40 grit, then gone over it with an 80, blown it all over. Blown it all over. And there stood Mary, so big and a so hairy, it's good to touch. You're recording, are you?
Yeah, well, just.
Yeah. Children, don't watch me doing this because sometimes I slip and I've sliced my hand there.
Smile.
That's shit. I've got to do that again.
You can't swear on video.
Sorry, that's poo.
We're going to strip it apart and change all these. Just got to wait for the ding when it's done. Is it going to ding? Come on. God damn it. Right. So while we're waiting for the carb to finish cleaning, I'll show you this. So the lad bought a rebuild kit for both Webbers. So there's 2 of these. Basically just gaskets. You know, pause it. They'll look better than they were. That's the thing to do when you're a mechanic. Always sniff stuff, don't you? Yeah, doing well that is. So Keith's looking over there. Let's go. Welcome back everybody to Twat. Right, let's do it again. Welcome back everybody to part 12 of our one take. Welcome back everybody to part 12 of Restoration Roulette, where we're building our Mark II Escort in 2 months, which probably ain't going to happen. So in today's episode, you would have seen us. Welcome back everybody. So then we push it back into the booth again, and then
It's ready for the lawnmower to start.
yeah, it's ready for the lawnmower. The lawnmower to start up next door when we're trying to do a voiceover. Naughty lawnmower people. You got wind of it?
Yeah, it stinks.
Oh, that mower. Lawnmower place next door is just doing like drag racing with mowers. Oh mate, this is like the smallest room ever for you to fart in. And that clears your nose.
I feel sick.
That's better than Vicks Vapor Rub, that is. Why am I sniffing? Right. Yeah.